everybody, and welcome to the finale episode of Season 2 of Witch Girl Adventures. I am both excited and sad to be here. It's sad because this is the end of something amazing, but I'm also very excited because, just as last week, the outcome of today's game is literally entirely based on the decisions that these 5 ladies are about to make. So I am very excited to have Shauna and Tiffany and Kika and Catherine and Eris back tonight in their roles as all of the Witch Girls. If you want to find out more about their characters, if you scroll down to the bottom, you'll find a little plugin there, and that plugin will give you all the information about who those girls are and who they'll be playing tonight. But because this is the finale and our time is unfortunately somewhat limited, I want to dive right in. Last week was, needless to say, an intense episode. Drama-filled, maybe. Oh, speaking of filling drama, see that bar at the bottom? You can bring drama upon these ladies. Tonight is the finale. It seems like the opportune time, if I do say so myself. The opportune time to bring drama upon them. And potentially the last time, at least this year and in this season, so... But yeah, it was an intense episode. We had kind of left high school drama and gotten to the meat, the core of what was going on here. After a interesting interaction with some local werewolves, they're still not sure who called who. I'm pretty sure that was a giant debate. We're not sure who called who, but there was an interaction with the werewolves under the ancient tree, where all of them found a little bit of solace after the giant battle that had happened in the middle of this high school party. All of these local mundanes were taken by a horde of vampires, and these vampires tend to use these mundanes as part of a massive ritual where they sacrifice the innocent and rise Echinida into a brand new body, which we have now learned actually belongs... It belongs to Morrowind. A strong, agile witch, and one that was in a prime position to be the new vessel for Echinida. Currently, Echinida resides inside of another woman, though. Morrowind's mentor, Violet. At least that's what they call her. And after daftly figuring out how to enter the vampire realm, I guess you could say, or they're behind the lines, they snuck in and made things small and turned stuff into rocks and basically found themselves deep inside enemy territory. In fact, inside of the old Witches World Council building, where clearly they are changing over the Witches Council room as the sacrificial chamber. But tonight's episode picks up exactly where the last one left off. With Elizabeth staring outside of a doorway into a room where the body of Morrowind lays on a table. Well, at least it did. In its place now is a pencil. The original form of the item that was replaced for the actual body of Morrowind, which has been turned into a rock nicely labeled in the pocket of Raven. Loretta, Percy, Jess, and Raven are very small, and they hide in the corner of a jail cell filled with angsty and very traumatized mundane high schoolers. And around the corner, Elizabeth stares into this room with the pencil, the leftover pencil, and Violet, or Echinida, a merging of both, and 2 creatures that she holds on leashes. Technically, they are vampire, but they are rabid with the disease. They walk on all fours, they snarl like dogs. Their teeth are not just single points, but very jagged, as if they not only drink blood, but possibly eat flesh. And, she has released them down the hallway to go sniff out whoever has done this and taken the body of her great sacrifice. Elizabeth was in the middle of taking action when our scene cut last episode. What does Elizabeth do?
Okay, so, this is kind of reacting to her staring at Elizabeth. You know, how she had that moment where she was staring directly at Elizabeth, and Elizabeth gets kind of, like, really jumpy. She starts thinking that, like, she knows that Elizabeth is there. So Elizabeth sort of slips kind of closer to the turn, pulls her wind out, and tries to make a portal that is facing Echinida, whose other end is however close to the sun as Elizabeth can get.
Okay. You're gonna toss her out into the sun. Okay.
The plan is actually to just open a portal that will just have unfiltered, like,
sunlight,
pure, concentrated sunlight directly at her.
Okay, interesting. All right. First
So
off,
be,
you
like,
never
against her magic resist or anything like
no,
that, but
it is going to be very hard, only because you are putting a portal a place you've never been. That's very far away, and it's not even technically on this planet. So we'll say, roll it up. I gotta see if this works.
In Elizabeth's mind, she doesn't need to get all the way there. She just needs to, like, get
close enough
to space in the right direction, and the closer she gets, the better.
Are you sure you want to have a portal into space? In a space with an atmosphere?
Look.
Are you
Elizabeth's
sure? This could be our rocks fall, everyone dies moment.
There's no gravity outside the portal, but there's gravity on our side of the portal.
I mean,
I guess technically you just need to open a portal where there is sunlight.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and radiation poisoning, hi.
Oh no.
Yeah,
I mean, we have
exactly.
healing.
Look,
we have healing.
look.
We have healing.
Is...
We're witches.
Also, all the kids.
50 children in the room next door. It's fine. I gotta see this play out.
I have to tell you, all these things that you mentioned, I thought of, but I decided Elizabeth would not have.
I mean, that's fair.
I mean, y'all are
Pika
on,
literally
like...
told me that. She's like, this is not what I would
Great
do.
show, guys.
I mean, y'all are on
Let's do it.
the side of the bars. The bars will save you. Will save these kids from being sucked into the
Actually, like,
horrible expanse of space.
You don't get sucked out like that. It's not.
Yeah, the pressure has to be.
Overplayed
Yeah.
in movies drastically.
Yep.
But
You're
Okay.
muted. Okay.
I'm sorry.
Just
I muted
remember, you have the Raven effect.
myself. You got a +1 always on your side.
God.
okay.
I'm here
That's
for
all I
this.
got. I like this plan.
Oh my god, I'm here for it.
Hey, Kindred Wolf. We are actually playing. We are playing Witch Girl Adventures, which is its own little RPG. Welcome in. You have actually hit us on the finale, so stuff's gonna hit the fan if you hang around.
Uh-oh.
All right, so yeah, that would be your casting die. There you go. What did we
Okay.
get?
Okay.
Okay. My plan was it needed to be a 30 for a perfect success.
Partial success.
So
Close
this
to
is
perfect,
really
but-
close.
Really
This is
close.
really close. So what is your goal? That it will burn her up?
Yeah, and give her enough cover to run back to the rest of the group.
Okay.
Like a distraction, a burning
You just, like,
distraction.
bloop this portal out there.
Yeah, she does that and yells, Sunfire Inferno!
Your voice rings out down the hallway. At the size of the four of you, it sounds like Sunfire Inferno. As it bloofs open because you're very tiny and it's very loud coming out of Elizabeth's mouth. And the four of you feel a rumble. And this boom is the only way I know how to explain it. Lets out into the space. Both audibly, physically it blasts through you. And something is going on the other side of the wall next to you because it begins to crumble. It starts to kind of like crumble a little bit. The high schoolers push to the other side of the room, trying to get as far away from this wall specifically as possible.
Can I take
That
this
might
moment of confusion to turn Tyler into a very small pebble?
Sure, you roll that turning, him into a small pebble. Let's see how everybody
And
else deals
it
with
does
that.
say Tyler on it. Well, I was like, if it's a loud enough shake and enough confusion, then I'll do it. But if it's not like big enough,
I mean, it's definitely, they're really crowded, so if one of them goes missing, they're in a state of shock, I'd say.
Okay.
It's probably okay.
Fine.
And guess what? We've already ruined the fact that it's magic, because you guys watch as this explosion lets out these two rabid creatures, no longer at the end of Echinida's leash, bolt down the hallway. They're like, one of them runs its claws down the, metal bars, and then this explosion lets out. You cast Tiny Rock, and around the corner is now a portal. It's slowly opening up. It's very far away. Okay. Yeah, that meets his magic resistance. He's just a mundane.
Okay.
He bloops down into a very tiny pebble. How tiny?
He's small enough that Raven can pick him up at this size.
Okay. He's like a grainy kitty litter. You know, like the little rocks at kitty litter? That's about how big he actually is.
Don't lose him.
But in your hands, he's kind of more like the size of a football.
Okay.
Yeah, don't lose him.
Don't lose him. I'm going to put him in my backpack.
Okay. Everything on your person will grow when you guys, are no longer Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Yeah.
Cool.
I will put him in my backpack, and in this form, he does have he's a nice, very pretty blue rock, and he has Tyler written in nice script on him.
Like a flourishy script.
Yeah. It's like that script that you write in your notebook when you're like, Tyler and Raven and a heart and stuff. Yeah, it's one of those.
Do you have a little heart carved into it with XOXO on it
We'll
or
carve it
something?
to the rock.
God, it's so
No,
tiny. It's so
but-
tiny in your tiny little hands.
No,
For some
but
reason, my
there's a
brain
nice
imagines
little
the
Tyler.
papyrus.
Oh god.
No, we use Comic Sans on the
Comic
ones we don't
Sans.
like.
That's so
The next
mean.
one's gonna be in Wingdings.
That's so mean. On that note, the explosion lets out. You manage to
Oh.
turn Tyler into a tiny pebble and slip him in your backpack. As the four of you have to move away from the adjoining wall, the connecting wall, because if you don't, it's crumbling on top of your tiny heads. Yeah. You guys pitter kind of off to the side.
Room time.
Yeah, and you don't actually see. No, you don't actually see it because
can't.
Elizabeth
Is
is
it
still
on the corner?
invisible. But Elizabeth's nearby. And maybe Jess could smell Elizabeth nearby. She's like come
Yeah.
closer, but you definitely cannot see her. And around the corner, the grumble and the grumble gets ever bigger. It's like something stretching time and space as this portal, literally into space, opens up. Begins pouring sunlight in.
I'm gonna fly up on my broom, and before I do, can I say, Billy, do you want to be big?
Who?
Billy.
Billy.
Oh,
Billy's with
um,
us.
Oh,
Yeah, Billy's
goes-
here. He's small.
yeah! He puts his tiny sword in the air. Yeah! Is what it actually sounds like, but it's like, yeah!
Okay, get out of the cage first, and then I'll let go of this.
And he like pops himself up and over the edge of the like the gel bars, really, where
Okay,
they're
and then-
attached, and he's like, I'm ready.
Okay, just you two.
Yes.
Okay, I let it go on them too.
All right.
Percy,
Percy's
Loretta,
safe.
and I are still small.
She is flying with her cape though now because she can go faster.
I'm on my broom.
All right. This is gonna be really fun. Okay. All right. Jess,
Percy-
yeah.
Percy's gonna fly up and land on Winston's shoulder,
Oh,
so she can have a view.
you're now his haunches. Okay, yeah, totally.
I'm Jiminy Cricket.
You're Jiminy
over
Cricket.
here.
Ooh, should I get on the other side?
Yes, who we can talk to. Okay, no, that's not the point of right now. We can't-
We're all about to die, and the both of you want to play good and evil on this poor child's shoulders.
No,
Yeah,
Tiffany
let's
and
go,
Eris
come on.
want to. We need to stay on the prize.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, what would you
so-
like to
Do you
do?
want to be small?
I'm not really sure if it's safe for me to be outside of those bars, but I have an idea. So Loretta is gonna kind of fly out of the bars while she's tiny,
Okay.
and then she's going to cast call monster,
Okay.
and she is going to she's gonna try to conjure that up.
Okay.
So
What kind of monster?
all right, unicorn.
Okay.
You know,
11
the
and
opposite of vampires.
Just a unicorn. Are those
Right.
stats even in here?
yeah, yep, right back towards with the flying
With
monkey.
the flying monkey?
Because we all know that the unicorn is the natural predator of the vampire.
Yeah.
It's true. Now it is.
God, where's my math thing? Come back. 8, 11.
It's
and
about
plus
as
Raven
silly
plus-
as that Kindred Wolf, that is for sure. Just as silly as a Monty Python and the Holy Grail unicorn. Okay.
That's a 20.
Nicely done.
Nice.
Okay. You do in fact summon a unicorn.
Okay.
You
And-
can do that.
Okay, and she's gonna mount the unicorn
Okay.
and use its invisibility power.
Okay.
With a zap point. So, yeah, that should be about.
I can tell you guys did your homework.
I did it right before we started streaming.
It's great. It lasts for 1 minute, the invisibility does.
All right, now make me beg.
Okay. I also forgot about the Vespa, which is currently a
Make the unicorn big too.
thing. So the Vespa, the tiny Vespa is gonna go outside the bars, and it's going to. I'm gonna drop the shrink on that,
Okay.
and then I'll also drop the shrink on Loretta as well.
Okay.
And the unicorn too.
All right.
Don't make me switch this unicorn.
Well, I would say we'll say that it's one both of you are unshrunk. How about that?
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll give
So
you that.
now it's just me and Percy that are shrunk, and we're just flying around like little bugs so that we can't get hit.
Okay.
Yeah. Percy landed on Winston's shoulder first
Okay.
to like.
All right. I want to
See
give
what's
you some stats for this creature in case you want to do something with it. This this like Vespa / tiger. It was a tiger, right?
Wolf.
I went for wolf. Tiger's
Wolf,
fine.
that's what it was.
doesn't matter.
No,
It's
wolf is good.
just-
Wolf is good. That's even easier. I got wolf stats. That's even easier because I was like, I
Okay.
don't have tiger. So there
Perfect.
are
Hold
wolf
on.
stats on page 133. It's like a whole, just a very quick chart. This is what I'm
Page
gonna use.
133
Of the hard copy.
number book.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yep, of the hard copy.
Just making sure because it's more. In
Yeah,
the
which means they also have
PDF.
like a true stat block if you wanted to look at the true stat block. But it's not in alphabetical order like this one is. So. And I'm gonna use these stats as well, obviously for the unicorn.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, that was the plan.
Okay. First things first, this portal begins to open up. It begins pouring out radioactive light. It is very bright and it pierces around the corner. The room begins to heat up, everything around you, as all of you are like, turn me big! Wait, I'm over here! And you guys are like, me next! And you guys are trying to, like, get in position, literally, for what is about to potentially be bad. It's about this time that the two creatures come, like, burping around the corner. Where, of course, we have, I would say probably Jess, Loretta the unicorn, and, Billy, yeah, are there. Kind of turn to look at these two rabid creatures. For some reason they look like Gollum to me.
Yes.
Yeah, they kind of look like Gollum.
Like a
but they
wolf
just have like more meat to them, I think, than Gollum does. They're not like emaciated.
Like a
Gollum?
muscular golem.
Like a muscular Gollum. Yeah, good luck with that.
Swole ass.
Swole
Gollum.
Gollum.
Swole 'em.
Gosh.
I
Sorry.
hate this mental image.
This is what happens.
It's all right.
Just in
Hey,
a loin.
Well,
hey, this is
I had too many Oreos earlier.
yeah.
Nothing
Those
crazy.
Oreos really taint the minds. Yeah. So these two creatures see the three of you and kind of square off with you. They snarl. Kind of the saliva drips from the edges of their mouth. The other two of you are on Wesley's shoulder, correct?
Yeah.
And the Vespa wolf kind of snarls the opposite direction, down the other end of the hallway where this bright light is beaming out, and it's beginning to get very, very warm. You can see the cinder block wall that shared is beginning to turn kind of a bright red color as it heats up.
Percy, when she sees Swolums coming into range, she's going in her tiny voice, yell up into Winston's ear, "Cover your eyes!" And then she's going to cast Sunburst to make sunlight right in front of the Swolum's eyes, and they have.
Wesley goes, "What? Who was that? Wait!" Just in time. Yeah, just in time.
It's like very small. It's a very small noise. Okay.
Yeah, cover your eyes! Alright, let me go take a peek here at this vampire situation.
The 14, they have to make a hard difficulty body roll or be blinded.
Okay. These creatures, body roll. Well, we said they was swole, so...
They're swollen.
That's a 12, which I believe
so-
does make it. One does, but
Okay.
let's roll for the other. That's also a 13, so they both make it. But what does the spell exactly do?
It creates a burst of sunlight that acts like real sunlight.
Like,
so
actually,
it's like a flash.
A flash. Yeah,
He's trying to like blind them to help.
You let this flash out. It doesn't blind them, but they do have to like tarry backwards, if that makes sense. Like they can't just take it. And they like hiss as they both like dive almost around the next corner. So that all of you have a chance to take basically an attack on these two creatures. They will have to take a minute to gather themselves. They may not be fully blinded, but it did stop them. That's
Good.
for sure. They. There is a cry, a shout, if you would, of a woman burning alive in this room. She finally lets out a scream, probably the last ever, as the body of Violet is consumed by the sun. Elizabeth, how close are you still to this room?
I was trying to do my best to run away from that room.
Great. Okay. So, how about this, Raven? Maybe after the flash, you like take everything in, and you see your Vespa wolf do something you've not seen yet. It's very fierce, creature and machine. It's backing up from the direction, like wherever this portal has been created. Where would you like to be, Elizabeth? Since you're invisible, you have to tell me exactly where you are.
I can be anywhere?
I mean, you can be anywhere within, like, this hallway. Like, would you like to be in cage? Would you like to be around the corner on the, I would say you can't get past the evil, like, the creatures yet.
She would have run as close to her friends as she could.
Okay. Shauna. I'm sorry, Jess, you feel that and smell Elizabeth right behind you.
Okay, good.
Okay, guys,
She's
I did a
close.
thing, and we should maybe get the heck out of here because I did a thing. Let's go.
What?
Oh, okay. And I turn as many bars as I can into little birds.
Oh, so we can get out.
All
and
the
then
bars? You turned all the bars into birds?
Yeah, because animalize object is my signature spell. So I turn all the bars into
love it.
birds, as many as I can,
Okay.
in order
Oh.
to let the kids out.
Okay,
Oh no, these birds are gonna.
So here's what we're gonna do. We'll say there are
Whatever, they're sentient. They can run away from the sun.
how okay, go
Fly
ahead
away.
go ahead
They're
and roll
sentient,
it up.
so they can experience pain.
This is like, what was it?
You're about to give life to these poor prison bars.
I mean, it'll be like the birds, the gun birds.
Hey, you gotta
Love
let
it.
those caged birds go.
Okay.
You're about to give life to these prison bars. That
An
yes.
11 is enough. I would also like you just to roll a d12 for me.
Oh gosh.
That's not a terrifying thing
To hear me say.
I
to roll.
They're just thin vertical birds.
The five
Oh.
center bars, are there a particular kind of bird that you were aiming for?
Fairy hummingbirds. I like Raven likes colorful birds, so she
Okay.
usually goes for bright sparrows or hummingbirds.
They're all cassowaries.
Oh no! Oh boy!
Okay. Well, as hard as you try to make them
Penguins.
into pretty birds, when these gray, well-worn bars pop, 5 of them turn into birds. The center are like 5 of the 12, which is basically the door, the actual door with the lock and everything.
Perfect.
Pops in. They actually turn into these disgusting gray mockingbirds. And they and if you've ever been chased by a damn mockingbird, it is awful, and they will dive bomb you, they will pick on cats, and these 5 mockingbirds do not like being inside. They've just gained sentient life, they're very confused. And they start attacking the nearest thing, and as they fly up and down, they kind of get entangled with the creatures near the end of the hallway a little bit, as a distraction. The high schoolers see an opportunity, and begin to run. Percy, you're flying, and
Yeah, I'm
You guys are flying?
I kind of perched on his shoulder.
Okay.
Yeah.
As soon as the bars go, I say, Winston, stay safe, and I kick off.
okay, cool.
So I'm on my broom, and I'm going to say,
I'm on a unicorn, and I could probably attack things in the way.
Heck
So,
I mean, you are
Well-
blocking most of the hallway at this point.
I mean, you want Loretta with the unicorn to lead the charge?
yes.
You'll have to turn the
Yes.
horse around. You're going the opposite direction. You'll be going, basically, the only way that you know out is either to the front lines or back towards the tree. Like, remember, you guys entered through that doorway in the storage unit.
The death tree.
Is the sun portal blocking our way to one of those, or both those, or none of those?
It is. Well, none of you have turned around to look at it, so I don't
Okay.
know if you know anything about it.
Well, we know the wall is red, so that seems like not.
Yeah,
the
it
way
is
to
back
go.
that direction. It is definitely back that direction. Now here, so let me, you know what? We'll make this part of the task of getting the hell out of here, if that's the way you guys want to do this. So let me see if I can't lay this out for you so you can see it. Okay, here's the gel cell. This is at least how I have it pictured in my mind. Here is the storage room unit where Violet is supposed to be. There's a slight hallway that goes like this, and it continues down this way. This tiny little hallway out front here is where all of you are lined up.
Where are you drawing this?
In roll
Yeah, I
20.
was gonna ask.
Oh, you guys
I
aren't
don't
staring
see
at.
it.
I'm sorry.
No.
You guys are not on what I'm on. Now you are.
Oh,
Okay.
there we
Okay,
go.
there we
So
go.
what's what?
So I'll point them out again. Give me just a sec. All right. So this is basically what you have managed to explore, and I'll label everything. Sorry, everybody at home. I'll give a description as I give it to them. So you guys entered down this narrow hallway and hung a left here. Okay. This is the room that I'm sorry. Let me ping it. This is the room that Echinida Violet was in. This is the gel cell. For clarification, the gel cell obviously points outwards, like into the what are you doing? Points outwards into the hallway. The door for the... I'm not exactly sure what's happening here with my... I want to draw. Give me my drawing. There we go. This is the door. Yep. And that's the storage unit. The creatures, the 2 creatures, and let's see. I should be able to do it very quick. I don't want us to become reliant upon a map because that's not helpful for anybody. But this would be one creature. Give me that one up there. This would be the other. I know they're not the same size. Sorry about that. Let's see if I can shrink them down. There you go. So these would be the 2 creatures. They're basically, they got knocked when Percy threw light at them, like from the gel. They got knocked back a little bit.
Down the hall.
Yeah,
okay.
down this direction.
So-
The portal was cast. I should mark that as well. The portal was actually cast here. The only way out, this leads like back and around this direction, like back and around towards the right, goes out into the, basically the front lines, into the Witchers World Council and and then
Death.
Yeah, death. Basically into war zone. If you go back the way you came, you are going to have to pass the portal and the light, which is here.
Cool.
Yep.
Okay.
Cool.
Yep.
Elizabeth, can you close that portal?
Oh, we didn't see it. We just know the wall's red.
Oh yeah, that's true.
You know, yeah.
Okay, let's go. Let's go back that way. Walls red, but
I can hide that way.
yeah, we have to go past that though. We have to leave.
Do you think you can put a portal beyond, like at somewhere in between
where we
where
could
the tree
jump.
is?
Elizabeth, keep it up. I can.
Oh,
I'm doing a lot
No.
of portals.
no.
He's
There's
like,
a
I'm
lot
getting a
of
little
big
tired
magic.
here.
No, Elizabeth, I
No.
can shield us.
You guys,
What?
we can jump through cyberspace.
Let's
Can
do
you
it
get
then.
everyone?
Do it right now.
I can. Everyone has to hold hands, and then we should be able to do that. Yeah. Let me
All
find
right.
the spell.
Can
So,
you get all of
um,
us?
what it is?
All
So-
the kids?
I guess if
If
I-
all of you held hands
it.
and made a circle and put it in the middle,
Yeah.
it would stay open long enough where they could all jump into it.
let me see.
And then it would dump them out in another computer somewhere else.
I'm taking the unicorn with me.
That's
I'm-
fine.
I summoned this
Uh,
thing, dang it.
You can take a unicorn wherever you want.
Where was this?
Yeah, I can.
Yeah, you can.
would it-
yeah, you
would it-
can.
Can the
Hold on,
unicorn join the circle and help?
Well, I'm
No,
technically
because it's not a
on the
witch.
unicorn right now.
That's true. I mean, you can sit on it and be part of the circle, but it probably will. It could do its own powers, but it can't be part of the spell. That's a witch thing.
Okay.
And
The
the
unicorn keep
Did
the,
the spell go?
the vampire thingies from attacking us.
Yeah, it's it can attack things. It also gives everyone within 10 feet who's good within 10 feet of the unicorn has a +4 to resist magic versus wicked and cruel magic.
Define good.
Okay, I
Those
can't find it. I
Pure
know
of
it's a
Heart?
spell I have.
Define pure of heart.
Yeah, there's a spell.
Oh.
It's like a transport spell under cybermancy
Yeah.
that
Oh.
that allows you to go. I can't remember what it's called, but it allows you to go from one location to another.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
and
just-
here's
it was
another
a-
fun thing
it
with the
was a
unicorn.
higher spell. I can't find it
All
right now.
spells, all good and benevolent spells cast within 5 feet of the unicorn cost no zap points.
So stay near the unicorn if you don't want to use your zap. Let's see.
Hold on. Roll 20. Oh, I'm in edit. I don't want.
Yeah, I don't know where it is, but I know it is its spell because I've read it before.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. We did that before, and that's
And,
a
oh.
thing.
And even if it's not, guess what? You can make up spells, yo.
Yeah.
Oh, and by the way, Kika, it also says that they can also sense the goodness in people. Even those who may not seem good, they can bring out the best in them.
There we go. Okay. I have
Okay,
roll
but-
20 back.
I love this. Stop asking questions, Kika. Just
We
let
got
it
a
be.
unicorn.
I'm a
I
I'm
call
a
it Mr.
bioethics
Sparkles.
minor. It's like in my I need to ask these
Okay.
questions.
So I'm gonna
All
count.
right.
Okay. Percy yells out to Raven, "Make me big!" as she's like flying.
I drop it. I'll.
Okay.
You know what? Fuck it. I'll go ahead and drop myself too.
Okay.
Perfect. Percy goes like big suddenly next to Winston. He's terrified by the sudden appearance of Percy. But she grabs his hand. She holds out her cell phone. She yells, "Everybody hold hands! I'm getting us out of here!" And
Okay.
then she's going
There
to
are
press-
50 scared high schoolers that are literally trying to stampede out the door. What are we doing? What are you doing about the high schoolers? Because they are trying to push past you.
Y'all
hold on.
figure that out because I'm about to cast some
Yeah.
real
Oh,
magic.
I need a mentalism spell,
I'm-
probably.
I'm gonna cast Dome to keep them in the area.
They can't go
Oh,
anywhere.
God.
You release them and then you retrap them. I love it. All right, go ahead, Jess. That's brilliant. I love it.
You know what? Jess is gonna combine this with repulsions against vampires. That's part of her
Yes.
protection. So if they hit it, they'll get hurt.
Okay.
All right, so that's Dome is a 3 and a 6. Okay, that is.
Oh my God. I just realized I have access to the download spell, which is how you download a person.
Uh-huh.
Oh,
Oh my God. Okay.
all right, so
You
16.
might need that later. We'll see.
Oh yeah.
Gonna say, Jess, are you near that unicorn?
Yeah, don't forget your 4.
Yeah, 4.
1 for Raven, 4 for the unicorn.
Okay.
Well, I know it's resist magic, but it also doesn't cost you any zap points to cast that.
Oh,
Oh,
right,
good.
okay.
Yes, because this is a pretty powerful spell. This is
Yeah.
a level 3 and a level, I think, 5. So benefit. So 1d10. Let's do it.
Okay.
Oh boy, good.
Wow. Nicely done.
Nice.
This like bulbous boom, it like comes around them. The high schoolers are like, goom. Hey. It's like you can hear their fist on like the inside of an empty bubble.
Raven is flying above them, and she'll say, "Hey, everybody, we can get you out of here, but you have to calm down first and hold hands."
Roll a social die. If you have anything that's going to help you, leadership.
I have
Etiquette.
I do have mundane etiquette. I also have plucky.
Okay, I'm gonna let you have both. Because I would say you're talking to mundanes, which means mundane etiquette of being like, "Hey guys," which is such a mundane thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
So mundane etiquette, plucky, yeah, and yeah, that's it. Those are your bonuses, and then
-1 for Jinx.
-1 for Jinx.
That's fine.
and then of course your social die.
Yeah.
Found the.
All these kids.
Okay, you're like,
God.
"Hey," and you're like yelling at them. A couple of them actually do stop. Like 1 or 2 of them look up and they kind of point and to their ears as if they can't quite hear you.
Can I? Oh, gosh. Can I?
Text Winston.
Oh no, I'm trying to.
Oh, you're just
put
casting the
together
spell. Have you rolled it?
Not yet.
Yeah, go ahead and roll it.
It's called Ride the Line.
There we go. That's it. Ride the
so-
line.
Technically, I can do it on myself or a target, but I guess if I cast on myself and everyone's chained together, is the idea of what I'm trying to do. Is like if I'm holding Winston's hand and everyone's holding hands, even if it's me, like we create a chain.
So here is
Was
how-
my idea.
Okay.
but I don't know.
Okay, that's interesting. My thought would be whatever you're having them jump into, because literally your cell phone, the thing, they have to be pulled in through something, right, to ride the line. So it would be
Yes.
like, in my head, it looks like being sucked into one monitor and plooped out another monitor.
Yeah. So.
So when you get the circle in place, this is how we'll do this since you're
Yes.
kind of doing it on a mass scale.
Yes.
The port is basically like a portal. The portal has to be opened, and then once it's opened, it can stay open for a certain period of time and let as many people through as possible. So it's like a much stronger thing than just yourself.
Perfect.
So yeah, that's how we'll do it. So we'll say the circle. If you can get the high schoolers rallied with you, you'll get the bonus for all 4 of these lovely ladies, as well as the help, we'll say, of all the high schoolers. If you can get the high schoolers into the circle, you'll be able to make this spell.
While the team is trying to get everybody, Percy is going to be kind of explaining to Winston
Okay.
as she's doing it. She's like, I'm going to basically make a doorway that's going to take us from here to the school library, but I'm going to need your help to get everybody to go through this doorway when I go. Can you help?
Yeah, he responds back with a few emojis that you definitely understand. You hear him actually inside the bubble say, "Hey, everybody, listen up! They're trying to
Raven.
help us."
Raven's gonna just try to help him.
Okay, he'll
Oh.
take. He's gonna make it
I'm
roll a
gonna
social die.
augment his voice so it's
Okay.
a little bit louder for everybody around him.
Okay, and he was gonna get +1 for you being near here, anyways.
Can I give him the my friendly talent as well? Gives him a +1. So I'm just like whistling at my
At the
loudest,
top of
loudest
your-
volume. Yeah, just
All right, we'll give him a. We'll say you don't have to roll for that. We'll just give you a bonus for the whistle. Like you whistle out along with him. All right, you are
Elizabeth
rolling
just-
up a spell though, right, Eris?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not
Elizabeth
really.
just
There's
leans against-
augment.
Sorry.
Okay,
but
that's
that's
if you're-
increasing attributes, and that's not quite what I was looking for.
Looking
I
for-
just wanted to make him slightly louder.
Well, let's do this. He's getting a +1 from you already, and he's gonna get another +1 to his social die because of the whistle. That's just gonna try to get everybody's attention. Okay, he rolled a 6. That's better than a 2. And he's actually in the dome, so they can hear him a little better. It doesn't seem like muffled or underwater. It takes a minute. You can see some of the tougher boys even push him a little bit. He pushes back.
That's my boy.
And he shows the cell phone like, look. And there's conversation. Everybody kind of settles down, and it's a more normal tone conversation. You can't quite hear it. But he texts you back, and he says, "Okay, we trust you."
Okay, great. Let's do this.
So
And-
they all, I mean, there's like 50 of them. So they like grab hands, almost in like an S type thing. They can't make up. There's no way this space is big enough for a full circle. But they do grab hands.
We're gonna drop the bubble.
Yeah, the bubble drops. their voices return.
All right, everybody, hold on. And Percy is going to try to cast the portal. And that is 16.
A
Roll
16.
20.
Okay,
Oh.
that's not so bad.
Okay.
That's not so bad. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
Come on, roll 20.
Roll
What's up with
20.
these
Don't
ones?
forget. That is, you also technically should add 1 for every student.
Okay.
Well,
Oh.
really a half for every student because they're not really magical. You're just using their innate
Yeah.
energies
Okay.
to your benefit. So
Perfect.
there's 50 of them. So you're gonna add 25 to that. So 31
Okay.
or 41.
good,
There
good.
you go.
Okay.
Okay.
All right,
Like
all
I said, it was as long as you could get the high schoolers on your side, it was a success.
Cool.
They all seem very confused.
And it looks like a big, like, doorway, kind of like an archway. It kind of glows a little purple.
Oh, it's got to go through a piece of technology. They're gonna have to go through your cell phone.
Okay. Okay. Percy casts it, and she puts her cell phone on the ground, and like it like comes up.
Yeah,
like the V.
Yeah,
right?
and that purple V. Yeah, I love that.
And she looks at them all. She goes, "I know this sounds weird, but go to my phone, like into the light, y'all."
Come on, everybody, and I'll go first.
Oh, you're
I
gonna go
will-
first?
I will go first,
And
and I'm
them
Where-
to the
gonna
computer.
grab Winston's hand
Okay.
and
You're
go
going to the
first.
computer lab at
Of the
Willow
school.
Mist or the high school.
the high school,
Okay.
so that they end up in a place they know,
Okay.
and it's safer than here.
Okay. Raven jumps in holding the hand of Wesley.
Winston.
Winston, I'm sorry. Wesley is a character from my other game. Very
Wait,
confusing.
were we
Winston,
supposed to be going in or no? Shit.
you're it.
Go
Yeah.
in. Yeah, I mean,
Are we-
basically, what we did is it's a doorway that travels through cyberspace, which is.
But
probably
hold
good
on.
thing.
Are we going
was,
in, or
was
are they?
the
Are we
plan
making
for
kids?
us to
Oh.
just go in, or
Everybody.
just them?
No, Percy's plan was we all leaving, because otherwise we dying by swollens. So that's up
Okay.
to y'all.
Or possibly the
Is-
portal that's still growing.
Yeah.
And you
Yeah.
notice
Ah.
this as the wall begins to crumble and sunlight begins to
Yep.
seep through.
Imagine
Billy?
that. We don't want to be in that. There's radiation
Raven's
and
going
stuff.
through.
We need to
Yep,
not
yep,
be
yep.
here.
You're gone.
Billy,
Alright.
I'd rather you not die, so let's go.
All right, get them all in first, and then we'll follow.
Percy, are you
Yeah.
sacrificing your
Raven
cell
went in
phone
first
and leaving it
to
behind?
show them.
Okay.
It's fine.
Come
You're
on, now,
such
now,
a
now,
giving
let's go.
person,
Let's go.
Percy. Wesley is
We will all
Winston
put our money
is
together for
the
you
first
to get a
one
new phone
in.
later.
As he crosses into the purple light, it pixelates him. It like breaks him down into pixels and like sucks him in. And one by one, there are a lot of high schoolers. As this happens, the wall begins to crumble. These very dense streams of sunlight come through, and lapping behind them is literally the like fire of a sun.
Yep. I mean, the bubble's still up, so hopefully we have a few seconds.
Yeah, the bubble. I guess
It
the
will
bubble
not
is
hold
still
it
up.
for a while, but it'll hold
It'll
enough.
keep it
Hopefully.
help some. It's beginning to get very dangerous in here.
All right, come on, hurry up, hurry up.
Loretta, Billy is between all of you and the creatures. He kisses your hand as you sit on top of this unicorn, and he says, "I don't run from battle."
No.
He says, "Go. I will see you
No.
there."
I
And
Ooh.
he slaps the hind end of that unicorn, who like rears back.
Can I grab Billy?
You can sure try.
Yeah. All right, what is that? What?
This is kind of an opposing body roll. Athletics, if you have it, I guess, or anything. Fight is actually probably.
Yeah. Okay.
You got fight.
Let's do this, Bill. Yep.
Okay, so does Billy.
Yep. I mean, I'm into my werewolf thing, so yeah, this is gonna.
Yeah,
be...
this is
come
gonna be
on.
intense. Let me make sure
No.
I get his die right. His body die right. Don't wanna. Wow, this will be fun.
All right.
I didn't expect that.
No, we.
Portal to
Billy
the
has
sun.
no
Who
chance
expects
if he
that?
fights me.
Here we go. This is so simple. Body.
We should
All right.
probably expect that more. hanging
He's
out
an
with
immortal, people.
Yeah, I get the Jess gets the impulse, but we need to leave.
4. Okay. You want me to go first? Or you want to go first?
Go first, yeah. Why don't you go first?
Oh, I only rolled a 13. It wasn't very
All right.
good. Okay. Actually, it should have been a 14 because he also gets the Raven effect, unless that only applies to magic. But you do manage to grab him and you begin dragging him.
It's like,
you got
no,
to-
you don't. You're coming with us.
He is going to fight you.
No dying.
He is going to fight you.
That's fine. He can.
we'll
I'm
get
just
to
gonna
that,
try.
I guess, in a second. Who else has jumped in? The high schoolers are still kind of filing in one by one. What order are the rest of you popping in?
Percy's gonna wait to the last second, just in case she has to deal with the spell and like make sure it stays open.
Loretta's on a runaway unicorn at this point.
Is she gonna jump into the?
Yeah, he kind of smacked it tiny towards the portal.
Oh, I think Loretta's going in the portal.
Yep,
Mhm.
sounds like it.
Yep.
Whether she likes it or not.
This unicorn kind of crumbles into pixels with Loretta on the back. I imagine it looks very 8-bit. As she disappears, as Jess literally grabs the neck of Billy and begins dragging him. At this point, the creatures are back on their feet, I guess we'll say. They've reoriented themselves. And we still have the Vespa Wolf as well. And Elizabeth, what are you up to?
Elizabeth wants. Well, first, Vex is going to feed Elizabeth some zap points.
Yep, much needed. Sure, okay.
And then Elizabeth is going to try to stretch space between the Swolums and the rest of us, so they have a lot more space to try to have to pass
Okay,
to catch up to us.
to catch up. Okay,
Yeah.
alright. Let's just see. It's not really on them, so it probably will hit, or make happen, I should say. Manifest, those are the words. I have words.
Yeah, it's on. It's just on space.
Yep,
This is
just on
just
space. Then you don't even need to roll for it. It just kind of happens, usually. Yeah, oh yeah.
Another 28.
Minor wave of a hand, because it's not really, yeah, it's not on any one creature. And you're just trying to, like, elongate the space between you.
Yeah.
Cool. This narrow hallway does that thing that horror movies are wont for. When you stare straight down at it, like, ooh. And it creates this massive depth perception.
I love that. Where you like move the camera out while you zoom it in.
And zoom it in, yeah, and it's just like, ooh. And that's kind of how it feels. Loretta is in. Raven is in. We're gonna need to make a roll against one another, Jess. He is going to try to fight you off by grabbing your wrist and kind of tossing you off to the side. He's not meaning you harm, but he does not want to go with you.
Raven's through the thing?
Raven is through the thing.
Okay.
You can
Raven
no
and
longer have
Loretta.
the Raven effect. Sorry.
Alright, I am fighting your boyfriend.
Is that a one-way portal?
Yes,
Damn.
Yep.
because it's based on
I
Percy
did better that time.
knowing the computers.
Well, you didn't catch him off guard. Oh,
Damn it.
yeah.
Oh.
He does not get to toss you. It's not strong enough, but it is enough where he like gets and he backs up and he puts his sword between you and him and he says, "I'm staying."
Mhm.
Like he means it. He says, "I promise I'll be back, but I don't trust that this is over."
I am not gonna tell Loretta and Elizabeth that you died, and I am just gonna. You know what? I'm gonna
He
grab
says,
that
"Then don't
sword.
tell them I died. I'm not dead."
You know what? I'm just gonna grab that sword and swing him toward that portal.
I'm right here. Elizabeth says to them.
Yeah, he of course like spins around like, "Where are you?" You know, kind of a thing. Are you wanting to take any kind of action, Elizabeth, or you just want Jess and him to work it out on their own?
Elizabeth is going to put a hand on Billy's shoulder and try to teleport him. I don't know where. Because I don't think does she know that the kids are being sent to the?
Percy told you.
I mean,
guys.
it would have been kind of a group effort. You would have seen that. Percy would have said where she was sending everyone, right?
Okay,
Yeah.
then-
She was
then-
probably talking out loud as she was
She's
like,
like, "We're going to the school. We're going back to the school or whatever." Yeah. Okay.
Elizabeth is just gonna try to teleport Billy there.
Okay. He's gonna be very angry with all of you. I want you
I
to
mean,
know.
very
fine.
glad
You
to
know, you'll be.
teleport.
You'll
I was
be
about to say,
angry.
if
Make
anybody,
yourself.
Elizabeth should understand why this is so important to him. Like, this is what he does. This is what he's trained for, and running from a fight is a coward's way out for any immortal.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
this way he's not running.
Yeah, I guess
a bunch
that's
of
true.
witches pushed him into not fighting.
Works. You and him, bloop, bloop. Or is it just him?
Just him.
Great, he's gone. Instead, now
Good.
it's Jess and Elizabeth in the middle of a hallway. This elongated hallway has definitely helped, but these creatures run at full speed. Behind you, it gets warmer. And Elizabeth, you hear a voice that you know all too well. The voice of Scion. She appears behind you and she says, "What's happened?" as she casts magic and is trying to contain this portal that has now outgrown the edges of the hallway. It is getting ever larger and it is seeping out more and more sun into this space.
I made a portal to the sun because Echinida was there, and I thought, hey, the sun. And that was the entirety of my thought process.
She lets out a sigh, also of exhaustion, as she's literally got this kind of protection force field as she's trying to push the portal back in on itself. She's trying to contain sunlight that is ever escaping into this realm, or into this world. It's about this time, Elizabeth and Jess, as I'm hoping you're running for Percy's open cell phone, that you see something. You see this kind of dark, purpley, misty goo. It has some kind of form to it, but it flows through the air like mist and smoke. It forms a humanoid type shape. A woman for sure. As it watches the two of you jump in.
No, I cut its head off.
You're welcome to try.
Oh no.
Have the high schoolers all made it through?
All the high schoolers are through. Literally the only thing left now are the two creatures, this misty form, and Elizabeth and Jess.
And Percy.
And,
which she has-
oh, that's Percy, right. You're gonna close it out. And, of course, Scion, who is currently just trying to contain the massive portal.
I do a try on cutting the head
'Kay.
off.
You
Yeah,
slice
okay.
with this very perfect slice right where the head would be. Your sword passes through it, and it poofs like smoke at the neck. There's a laugh. Wow. Is this what it feels like to be free?
Yo, ghost.
She says, "I am more than that." It kind of like flows and jiggle wiggles with the smoke trying to like keep form.
I activate my spooky ring so that I can interact with ghosts and spirits and things and slice
Okay.
again.
You could, yeah, go for it. You like boom, and you're like, "I'll try anything."
Yeah, this is where she's at.
She's like, anything at all.
7.
A 7!
Oh my
Look at it.
god.
In a panic, you're like, you slice again. It passes right through it, and she says, "Try as you like. You burned up my body and freed my soul."
I have a quick question.
Mhm.
Since Percy is looking at this, so Percy, could elementary alchemy affect it? Because I can turn solid, liquid, and gas to any other state of being. And
Okay.
since she's kind of gaseous, could I make her solid?
It is manifesting as gas, and you could definitely try, but this is somebody's soul. You can't turn a soul solid.
Can I?
It's why they tried to put her in a body, because it's the only way that she has a soul has manifestation is when it lives in a vessel. And before it was contained, but when you burned it all up, you burned up Violet and left nothing but Echinida's soul without a body.
Yeah, I don't know how to put a thing inside I don't know how to like put her in a vessel.
Necromancy.
Yeah,
At
maybe.
my place, there are those jars that you can use to capture
Yeah,
spirits and stuff.
those.
Wait, I think I might have a necromancy thing.
I don't see because I can realize objects from cyberspace, but my phone is currently a portal, so I don't feel like that's useful at the moment.
Scion is struggling. You can hear her grunting. She sweats, Elizabeth, under the heat and the pressure of this portal that she is trying to keep contained. The wall begins to crumble, and bright sunlight beams out. If you're going through the phone, now is the time to do it.
But Scion,
You guys, we have to go.
But
You first.
Scion,
No, you have to go through because I have to close the spell.
I'm so torn. I love it.
Elizabeth, don't make me push you through. Let's go.
You guys, we have to go. I can't hold it for much longer.
It
Percy's
is
starting to look a little like sweaty.
Aconida's spirit or soul or this gaseous manifestation, if you would, kind of reforms into an actual kind of gaseous cloud. It loses this form, but you still hear that voice, and she says, "What is this?" As she looks at this light that burst a hole in the wall. It slides the cell phone across the room. It pings. The portal is still open, but not for long. This place is coming down. And this gaseous smoke kind of backs up a little bit. The two hounds, you hear them like, "Arr, arr, arr," and run.
Just
The
carry me.
Swolums.
Just carry me. I'm gonna try to cast Trap Ghost.
All right.
Yes.
You lift
Do it.
her up. The light is so bright you can barely see. And you hear something else. A very calming voice. One of a motherly touch. Ancient. And she says, "Aconida, I am disappointed in you." The light kind of glows and beams. It makes it hard to see every time the being speaks. "We have been here before. You do not belong in this realm." The smoke all but turns to run. And she says, "Wait," and the light almost reaches out and grabs it by the tail. "I have done you a disservice by closing you off from all of humanity. A dark heart does not need more darkness. It needs love." And you hear Aconida go, "No! No!" As the light sucks her in like smoke up a vacuum. The room is about to explode.
You guys, go!
I'm gonna have you all make an athletics check to jump in. The stress on screen right now is killing me. Yes!
7.
Look at Percy make that a 6 on her athletics roll. That's it.
She maxed her.
She's like, "I'm out of here." You dive for the phone. Yep.
I
I imagine you all hug each other and like one
like
dive.
I think I'm still carrying Elizabeth. Elizabeth carry me.
Yeah, Percy grabs Jess's hand and they like jump through together.
I don't think my spell breaker is high enough to break my own spell.
It is not.
Well, new son.
It's okay, we're through a portal because Jess was carrying you.
This is what I was
Yeah,
like.
no.
What they choose to do today is what affects the rest of history.
Congratulations,
This is
the
a-
world
this
is
is-
ending
this-
now.
yep. I mean, this is the Witch Mall. Okay.
Yeah.
At
We'll
least
deal.
This
we
was the
know
Witches'
that
World
there
Council.
there are some powerful witches on that battlefield who can probably break that spell. Hopefully, maybe.
Yeah.
I hope. Really, I really.
Well,
hope.
Or we could just go to the front lines next and actually,
Okay,
you know,
well,
Yeah.
maybe not screw things up.
we're
Yeah.
very
Let's head
worn
back.
down.
Drop him off. Head back.
Okay, so I like to think, so we pixelate,
Mhm.
we make our way through, and then we come out of one of the computers in the computer lab, and it almost is like tumbling.
Yeah.
Like
It like
ass
it
over
like spits
elbow.
you out. I imagine like coins from a slot machine.
Yeah, and it's just now the library is just full of students and a unicorn.
A unicorn.
And a unicorn.
And a unicorn that hit you destroyed the computers on the opposite side when you came out. That horse just trampled them because I mean it's a computer lab, which means there's stuff everywhere. And you've popped out of only one, so things are a little disheveled with a horse. I mean a unicorn in the building.
Yes, technically it's the library because those are the computers in the school Percy knows because
true.
Percy has to know the computer to travel there.
It's so this is the one you use at the mundane high school.
She could have picked any of those computers because she knew
That,
where they
like,
were.
like-
But
I see.
Librarian.
Okay, you just had to know exactly where it was.
These like 15-year-old computers.
Okay.
yeah, there's Computer got glass everywhere from like the smash monitor.
I have
Everyone's
a
wearing
question.
slightly more modest clothing because of the parental controls on the computer.
I
have
mean,
a
it doesn't work
question.
like that, but you're welcome to change clothes.
Yeah.
How long has it been since we left the party?
Hours?
Few hours, 6, 7, give or
Okay.
take. Plus,
Just-
I mean, you're also
just
time
wondering-
jumping, like you're literally like time hopping, which changes the way time is functioned. So somewhere between 6 to 8 hours. So it's
Okay.
the sun is coming up here.
Okay, cool. And what day of the week is it? It's what, Saturday?
It would be Sunday.
Sunday?
It would have been a
It's
Saturday
empty.
night party, Sunday
Right.
morning.
Okay, Sunday morning.
So there's nobody
Perfect.
in the school at the moment, except for all of you.
Okay, is everybody
Awesome.
here?
Everyone's
So,
here. Okay, count. Okay, count.
Well, Raven would have gotten there first.
Yep.
Because she led the charge. As soon as she, got out, she would have started, like, trying to just organize people and tell them, okay, everybody go home.
Some of them came out running for the
Yeah,
door.
just go home. Have a good night.
With
Party's
fair.
over.
Do you think maybe you want
Be
to
safe. Make good decisions.
release some of those rocks?
Oh, maybe a couple of those, yeah.
Well, just a couple. Okay, so
So we need to try to save Scion.
I mean, I have some time because y'all waited.
Okay.
It's true. It's
Y'all
true.
waited.
It's probably it would be I'd say probably 3 to 5 minutes max. All this everything they went through went down. It was very instantaneous. But yeah, you've got about 3 to 5 minutes.
Yeah. Okay. So I pull out Tyler Rock
Mm-hmm.
and I put him on the floor and I say, I'm really sorry I changed you into a rock, Tyler, but I really didn't want you getting hurt, and I will change him back. Just by breaking my spell. That's all.
Yeah,
I'm
you
gonna
just
do
break
is
the spell, and
break-
he almost comes out. And it's like, and hugs the first thing near him, which is you. And he throws his arms around your shoulder and buries his face in your shoulder. And he takes a few deep breaths, and then realizing that it's you, he's like, oh.
And I
he
pull
looks
him
at you
back
with
in
sh-
for a
Oh,
hug.
and he needed it. He needed it so much. As you hug him, he's not crying, but he will when he gets home.
I'm sure. It's okay. It's all right. It's okay. You're safe now.
Not safe. Nothing is safe. Nothing's safe anymore.
I mean, yeah. Well,
There's a unicorn in the library.
it's unicorns are good.
They're not even real.
I mean, there's one right here, so yes, they are.
His name is Mr. Sparkles, by the way.
He gets up and brushes himself off. He's pretty much one of the only ones that are left here.
Winston stayed.
Winston, of course, Winston has
Winston's
stayed.
taking photos.
Winston
of
is
the
definitely
unicorn.
taking photos. He's actively hashtagging, posting, live blogging as we speak.
Oh no.
I'm
in a werewolf
everything that
form.
has
Oh, no.
happened. He's talking about he's talking about how he's gonna write the next great video game based on this adventure.
Is Billy still there?
Yes.
Loretta's gonna dismount from Mr. Sparkles and go, Billy, we need to talk. Now.
He gets up and slams his sword through a couple computers. Sorry.
And she kind of leads him away a bit.
Yeah, and he'll go with you. You guys have a somewhat quiet aisle of books.
All right. Billy? You say that you don't run? You ran from me.
I'm sorry. I did no such thing.
You ran from me. Do you have any idea how long I've... Billy, I may not be a sword swinger or whatever you happen to do, but I am just as capable of protecting you as you are protecting me.
I never questioned that.
You did when you sent me through that portal.
He says, my job is to keep our world safe. My literal job as an immortal is to fight to keep everything safe. So of course I wanted to keep you safe. It was not a judgment of whether or not you were capable.
Billy, the blood that runs through your veins is also, as I discovered, this blood that runs through mine. My father was not only an immortal, he was Hercules.
He kind of stops and takes
So-
that in for a second and kind of nods.
So, you and I, we're shieldmates now. If you're going into battle, then so am I.
He kind of like is taken aback and he says, then you should start training to be an immortal and not a witch.
There's no reason to see why I cannot do both.
He says, then I suggest you go hit the battle lines if that's where you want to fight. I don't want you to fight, Loretta, but I cannot stop you if you want to. If you would like to ride into battle at my side, that is fine.
Whatever we do together. Okay?
He kind of takes this in and he says,
I'm not losing you again.
you never lost me. He says, last time I checked, I lost you. You're the one that disappeared for 6 months. You're the one who I thought was dead.
I know.
So of course I'm worried. And of course I don't want you fighting, especially not by my side. I'm not saying that you're incapable, and I'm not saying that you are not powerful, because you are. But we are trained differently, for different purposes. There are things that you are good at, and there are things that I am good at.
Then let me help you in my way.
That is fine. But don't stand in the way of the thing that I am good at. I could have easily taken those monsters down with my bare hands.
And then you would have been burned in that... You would have been burned. You would not have made it through that portal.
Why do you say that? And then it's like... The three of them come tumbling out. And he kind of looks over his shoulders. They did. He says, Loretta, you're doing exactly what you did not want me to do to you, which is try to protect me. So instead of standing here trying to protect one another, why don't we fix the problem?
Okay.
And he turns and kind of runs over, I guess, to check on all of you. In hand, of course, with Loretta. And he kind of squeezes at it, gets close. The clothes that the three of you were wearing are now less than they once were. They singe and burn around the edges. Your bodies let off kind of this smoldering smoke and ember. As you were literally on fire for a period of time. It was real hot. And Billy, of course, says, well, what happened? Did you kill her?
Some
No
weird
time.
stuff happened.
Wait,
Really.
no time. Gotta try to save one more person. Elizabeth says.
Okay.
She
Right,
whips out her wand.
Billy's
it's
like, he hugs Loretta,
Other hand-
like, deep, and he goes, what is with everybody saving everybody?
Other hand out, trying to like get like anyone to help
Yeah,
her.
Jess will just like hold her hand.
She'll
So
try
you can say-
to
All right.
try to teleport Scion to her.
Okay, if we're not going there, Percy's helping.
Yeah.
As long as we're
All right.
So,
everybody,
the five of
hand.
you, just so that I understand, are wanting to teleport Scion from there to here.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. As Elizabeth is doing that, Percy's kind of like whispering to Billy and Loretta and Raven, like what happened. Because she's like whispering so not to break Elizabeth's concentration, but keep them in. While we have like joined hands.
I'm doing this fast and dirty.
Let's
So
do it.
how many pluses do I get?
Okay,
four
one for each of them, 5 if you add Billy, 6 for the Raven effect.
And no zap points because
and no zap
use-
boys?
Because of the unicorn.
Everyone
because
just
of the unicorn.
Yes!
We have a pretty battery here.
um,
Whoops, I rolled a
um,
d20.
oh, we need a
Sorry.
bigger unicorn.
damn.
Sorry,
Hold
we're getting
on.
some, okay, so, we need a
Hold on.
bigger
Accidentally rolled a
unicorn.
d20,
Oh, no.
sorry.
Okay,
It's the wrong dice. Hold on.
Reroll.
okay.
3 plus 26, 29.
29.
So, okay. Alright. First things first, let me add this very generous donation to our drama bar, which we may actually get to before the end of
Oh,
the night,
wow.
too.
Oh, this is.
God.
Oh no, this is right before teleportation. This is.
Oh no.
This is scary.
We're not there yet, we're not there yet.
Oh, no.
There was a request for a larger unicorn, I think is what the request was.
We need a bigger unicorn.
You guys, you concentrate.
Mega unicorn.
Army of unicorns.
You're tired. You're worn out. Your clothes are still kind of embering around the seams for three of you. It has been an exhausting 24 hours.
Yeah.
You cast your magic. Energy passes through all of you, creating a circle, and you concentrate on building and trying to make a portal. Just at the moment that you think it's going to manifest, and you see Scion coming through, a hand reaching out of this portal literally in the middle of the floor, it snaps. And instead of pulling itself out, it pulls you in.
Oh.
And the five of you, sans Billy, are
Hi, Billy.
pulled out of where you were and into a new place. It is warm here, but not in the same way. A very welcoming way. It is very bright and vibrant. In front of you are 4 jars. I didn't know that. And a beautiful figure. Very much androgynous, bald, wearing a very nondescript white robe that hits the ground and flows backwards off into the distance to a point you cannot see. It is as if they wear the room that you stand in. And it's that voice, Percy and Jess and Elizabeth. That welcoming motherly voice. Step forward. I want to see all of you.
Oh, yes, ma'am. And Percy will stop.
Oh, are you my mom?
We didn't die, did we? She just like
think we
called me.
did.
That's a good question.
She smiles. Of course you're not dead.
No, I'm too good at magic for us to die.
She says, this is not about your death. I have brought you here to thank you. So thank you.
How come? What did we do?
She laughs, such a quaint, almost coy laugh, as Raven says this. You are part of something larger. But your bravery called me. It woke me. As did the scream of my daughter as she burned. Her physical form, anyways.
Yeah, I'm sorry I did that.
Don't apologize. Witches need to have good instincts.
Okay,
Was
I'm
that
not sure I'd
good?
call that. Yeah, I don't know if I'd call that good. But
Why
it
not?
was an instinct.
Did it consume the Witches' World Council? Why, yes, it did.
I mean, the council wasn't in session, so.
No, it was not. Instead, it was filled with all kinds of creatures of the night. Children
Are they okay?
of my daughter, Akanida. And she gestures to a dark vase made of what looks to be almost like onyx. It has a purple band around it and a purple flower on the front. And she gestures. There. She sleeps now. As do the rest of my children. She doesn't even look at you. Yes, Elizabeth.
Could I ask a favor, please?
It has been a long time since anyone has asked a favor of the mother of all creatures.
Well, I mean, our friend, Morrowind is not in her own body right now, and I don't even know, like, we have her body, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's right
I
here.
was wondering if maybe she could be returned to her own body, please.
She looks at the rock and she kind of looks at you. I see.
She's not normally a rock.
Everyone has their talents, right?
She kind of smiles. She says, I took an oath long ago to not meddle and the affairs of witches, unless it affected my family. And she gestures again to the 4 vases. But I am Lilith. And what mother would I be if it did not occasionally put my pride aside and help where I could? I cannot simply give you your friend back, but I can tell you where she is. Her mind.
Yes, please.
She simply smiles and she says, someone close to you keeps it safe.
Close to who? Which one of us?
All of you. She has broken her oath to keep you all safe.
Oh, is it Aurora Mist?
No.
No.
It's Ashley.
She turns and looks right at Raven. A bright jinx. I suggest that you cash in on your wish for your fairy godmother before it is too late.
We only get one?
Oh, you get those? From
She smiles.
God.
Yes.
Well, I'll do it as soon as we get back.
Didn't speak.
Is there anything we can do for you while we're here?
No. That is a kind thought. But I am not necessarily here or there.
Ma'am,
You can call me
And-
Lilith.
Miss Lilith, and she's going to repeat the question she saw in a dream from her own mother.
Mhm.
What does transcend time and space?
Love.
Yes, it does.
I am sorry I have wrought such darkness upon your world. My youngest child is troubled, and I have failed her as a mother. We will now spend eternity fixing a bond that was never made.
Thank you.
Do not thank me. I am humbled to know that the next generation of witches are so daring and brave. I believe that you have all rightfully earned a patch. Yes? And she kind of just points a finger, and patches appear on all of your vests. These are unlike any patches that is in the rulebook, at least for those of you who have read the the Hex Scouts Handbook. It is a white patch. It has a very kind of bright yellow, almost like sunburst type star that sits in the center of it. Remember.
Elizabeth is
Yes?
very happy with this. Elizabeth is very happy with this because she honestly was thinking about asking about patches, but thought it would be rude.
She's like, I'd like my patch now, please. And she,
Do we get a patch for this?
yeah, do we get a patch for saving the world? I love it.
What does our saving the world badge look like? Does it glow? I mean,
This
Oh,
is
it
kind of
better-
it.
yeah.
This is kind of it. And she says, I do want to give you all a gift, more than a symbolic piece of fabric. I am choosing to elevate one that you all know, giving her higher power than that of the average witch, even that of ancient ones. She will be a conduit. My conduit. And she kind of like opens the palm of her hand, and white light creates an image of Scion that spins like a video game character. Scion has been chosen. She sacrificed her life when she could have ran. But she sacrificed it for good. And I believe that she deserves more. So, if you ever need me, you at least know where to find me.
But what if I just want to talk to Scion? Is that okay?
Scion is still there. Giving
Okay.
her a second chance, you might say.
Okay, that's good.
She will be more powerful and stronger and possibly less empathetic. But she is still the Scion that you know.
Okay, good.
And I would avoid bringing up their third sister. Neither of them like to talk about it very much.
That's a very good point.
And Elizabeth, it all kind of pings in your head. You're like, wait a second, third sister. Oh yeah, the statue.
Yeah. Okay, so she was one of their sisters. Okay.
They were
Okay.
triplets that became twins.
That explains everything.
She says, good. Now go home and get some rest. Oh, and don't forget to ask your fairy godmother for a wish.
Oh no! As soon as I get back.
Until we meet again. And she kind of snaps her fingers again, and this bright light, like a flash, goes off in all of your eyes. And you all seem to be back where you started. Winston looks up, just enough time to see the flash. He doesn't even notice that you had left.
You guys, we just met Lilith.
Wait,
that was weird. That was
hold
weird.
on. Before we do anything else,
Yes.
we need
Yes.
to go back to our dorm room.
Find Ashley.
But guys, I have some great news.
What's
That little trip made us all qualify for our traveler patches.
Oh hey, that's great.
yeah, that's-
We need to go to our dorm room.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't
okay,
have
it's been.
to go to our dorm room, but I feel like it would be
It-
just kind of nice
yeah,
to do
let's-
it there.
Yeah,
Hold
let's.
on. Hold on. Is it dark?
I think sun's up now.
Sun.
Is sun up? Okay,
Yeah.
then the wraith's not a problem.
Wait, there's a wraith?
Yeah, there was a wraith
Yeah.
in our room.
Why didn't you tell me that there was a wraith?
I didn't think we'd be going back to it.
I thought we did. Okay. Anyways,
Anyways, it's
wraith.
There's a wraith
Talking
in
to
the
Ashley?
dormitory. It's not necessarily just your room.
that's
Well,
maybe.
I'm sure that I'm sure we can handle a
we-
wraith.
Yeah.
Let's
I
just
can
go get
capture it
our
and then
back
purify it.
first.
Hey Billy, have you ever fought a wraith before?
Am I the only one freaking out that we met literally the first witch ever?
I'm
Yes,
still.
Billy's
I'm still.
growl.
Oh, don't
Billy's
worry, it's
growl
gonna
like
hit me
furrows.
later.
He goes, "What
Yeah,
are you
I'm
talking?"
gonna-
Yeah, Billy goes, "What are you talking about? You didn't
Yeah,
go anywhere.
we-
The spell failed."
No.
Billy.
No, it didn't.
Billy, time and space. Don't worry about it.
Billy?
Billy.
Everybody's
going
saying
back-
his name. He's like, "What happened?" Like,
Billy. Good news, we saved everyone. And I pick Elizabeth holds up Billy's hand and then I high fives it.
So yes. So fun fact. Ekanitis no more. She's in a bottle with Lilith, who just.
She's a very
But we
pretty
just-
vase, though.
Yeah, there's 4. Yeah.
Why
I gotta
do
start turning
I don't-
people into vases.
Percy, I don't understand what happened.
Billy reaches down and grabs Loretta's hand for comfort because you guys are talking madness because he didn't see you go anywhere.
Honey, we need to go back to we need to go back to the school.
Yeah.
However, it's a long story and I will tell you all about it on the way. And oh, by the way, have you ever fought a wraith before?
I feel
Yeah,
like that's
we
what-
fight those in second year, kind of.
Oh, good. Oh, good. You
Great.
can help it. You get
Yeah.
to have your battle tonight. It's okay. We're gonna
You
gonna
want
head
to find
back to the
something,
dorm.
right?
Yeah, because it's somewhere. We don't know where it went.
There's a wraith in our room. You want to
It's
come see our
alright,
room?
clean.
I
There's
mean-
a wraith in our room. You know, let's go. Let's go.
I mean, we
come on.
just fought Echinata. I don't think a wraith is gonna do too much for
Raven-
us.
I didn't get to
starts,
fight
like,
anything, and he like
pushing
kicks
people
him
out.
out.
Raven grabs Tyler's hand and like grabs Percy and starts like walking towards the door, trying
Yeah.
to get everybody
I-
out of
I
the
think-
school.
Yeah, I think so. Winston's gonna follow behind Percy, but I feel like Percy's definitely that guy in the conspiracy meme, just like losing her mind over the fact that they just met Lilith.
And Lilith has disappeared for the last many millennia. Like Lilith has been gone
Yeah.
since the last time they had to deal with Echinita, which was in the Dark Ages.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
I love how
definitely
he's like,
that
well,
conspiracy,
so
and like
Yes.
Percy's
It's
lost
been a
it.
Jess-
really
Jess, I think-
weird month.
I think maybe Jess and Loretta are both having a similar thing, right? Where we're just
I
kind of
also-
haven't processed it.
I also
We
love
just
that
kinda like,
Echinita's body
yeah.
is currently in Elizabeth's like basement.
Safe room.
Yeah, in her safe room. All right. So
How confused is Billy still? Is he still kind of
he's
swarming?
kind of taking it all in, but again, it's hard for him to understand because he never, from what he could tell, never lost contact with your hand or anybody's hand. So,
She kisses him.
oh, he
Well,
takes that in very
Yeah.
much. He dips you. It's very cute.
Percy
Okay.
Wolf whistles.
Hopefully that reset his brain. All right.
Raven's like,
No.
"Well,
Go
God,
Wherever you want to go.
Let's go.
Wherever you want to go. Okay. And he like
Let's go.
dashes out with sword in hand as you all probably run full speed back
Yeah.
to the
Fly back.
back to Willow Mist Academy.
Raven no longer has a Vespa because I never brought it through the portal.
Percy no longer has a cell phone, which means she's disadvantaged to casting.
I have a freaking unicorn.
Oh yeah, you and Billy ride Unicorn all the way down. You guys run all the way back to Willow Mist. When you arrive, it is not probably what you expected. The Unicorn probably comes to a resounding halt first. The lawn of Willow Mist seems to be crawling with witch hunters.
Oh.
You hear a psst from the bushes. It's It's a
Bushes.
It's a dog. It's a white dog. It's Aurora Mist. She looks up at all of you and kind of like kind of nods her head and leads you actually kind of off into the brush around the back side. You all move, I'm hoping, very quietly. As she leads you to a new, what you guess you could call outpost nearby. There's a small storage shed that's off in the dense woods that might have once been used by Willow Mist or possibly was private property. Now it stands just ransacked with rust along the edges, so forth and so on, and the door hangs on its hinges. Once you're clear of Willow Mist, she transforms back.
Is the shed like a secret thingy? Like you go inside and the bottom opens up and you fall into like a secret underground base or something? Is that what's going on here? Is that what we're doing?
She
Elizabeth
says-
is like
Yeah.
in that state where like she's gone beyond tired and
Yeah.
has gone around to hyper.
She goes,
No, I
I
think it's
wish that
just
was
a
the
shed."
case. And she kind of creaks the shed open. It's just large enough to hold the 3 professors and Aurora Mist and all of you. I mean, it's very tight. It's kind of a personal
Oh, I can
storage
make it
shed.
bigger on the inside if you want later. Not right now. I'm
She
very
goes,
tired.
It's all right. We're simply hiding out until they leave the campus. Where have you been?
We
And
Oh.
what are
went
those? And
to-
she points at your patch.
Oh, we got
Ooh,
these
yeah.
from Lilith, no big deal. We
we
went
Mhm.
went to
through a dead tree to a place to the Witches World Council in the mall with there was a lot of vampires around. We saved a bunch of more mundanes and I made a portal to the sun and we came here and
So long
we're
story
here.
short, Echinita's taken care of. Our bravery summoned Lilith, who took care of her, and then she gave us these patches for being really brave. So like we're basically the coolest tech scouts ever.
And
I
and
think so.
she is
Now
using
Scion.
Scion as a conduit for herself.
Aurora Mist just puts up
Yeah.
complicated.
I can show the replay if you want, and Loretta holds up her compact.
She puts her hand on yours and puts it down, and she's like, "It's okay. I can tell.
We got a unicorn.
I can tell." She looks at it, Billy, and of course Loretta on it. She says, "As much as I would love an explanation, time is short. Yes, Raven?
Do you want me to make the unicorn small so it fits in better?
Do you want more time? I can make it so that there's more time.
She kind of pats it, and she's like, if I'm correct, it can turn invisible, right? She kind of pets its nose and, like, loves it a little. Yeah,
And we're now floating in the air.
yeah, right? And she says, I am curious as to why you came back, then.
We need Ashley to put
Ashley. Why?
Well, actually, the coming back here was more of a sentimental thing. I wanted to. Lilith told us how we could get Morwen back, and I wanted to bring her back when we were in our dorm room.
That was more a sentimental thing than anything else. But the
Yeah, that was entirely the thing. I could have brought her back while we were still in the mundane school, but I figured that casting
Wait, the
magic
mundane
in
school?
the mundane
Yeah.
school is probably
Yeah.
a bad idea.
Don't worry about it.
Gonna hold my questions till tomorrow.
It was a long, long
Like I
night.
said, I can show
A
you the
lot.
replay. That's not a problem.
She touches Loretta hand and pats it. She goes, thank you. But time is short, and this campus is crawling with witch hunters. We didn't even know there were this many of them. Where do they come from?
The mall, maybe?
So first,
Yes, Elizabeth.
I was just wondering if you got the message I left for you in your mind.
Oh, yes,
the
I
memory
did.
stuff.
She
Okay,
did.
Good.
Yeah, she did. Did you also include the fact that they attacked you at the school? Or at the party? The witch hunters did?
That was after I.
After you. Okay, so that's the piece that she's missing. Okay, she goes, yes, I did. Thank you for keeping me informed.
Well, the witch hunters actually attacked us at the party where all the vampires took the mundane kids.
She goes, they took the mundane kids. Oh my god, it's
No,
gonna
no,
be...
They're fine,
we
they're fine,
saved
they're fine,
them.
they're
We've
fine.
saved them.
it's everyone's fine.
Yeah.
I guess Winston, or Miss.
He's still live tweeting. So,
That's
you know
fine.
he's
I
okay.
mean, it's too late
He's
now,
got a lot
so.
to say.
Yeah, might need to do some
so-
damage control with one of the mundanes.
Oh, you
It's
should.
okay.
Why?
I'll deal with him later. It's fine.
It seems kind
Okay.
of really unethical to wipe a whole bunch of people's minds without their
No,
permission.
we'll
Yeah.
just wipe his Twitter. It's fine. I might have tracked the witch hunters IP, and they found us.
Oh, Percy. She kind of very...
I mean, I tried to do it at the mundane school, so they couldn't track to here, but I don't know.
I guess they wanted someplace to go. I guess, right?
Well, they've been tracking this place one at a time for a little while. I'm guessing now that they have confirmed there are still witches in this area, they have returned in force. We can attempt to sneak into the school for your sentimental value. Or we could
It's
bring your
okay.
friend back here. But I don't
Yeah,
understand what
listen.
Ashley has to do with all of this.
Ashley has Morwen's mind.
And she's
Yeah.
our fairy godmother.
You get that
So
one
we
wish,
did
right?
A wish.
So I'm gonna
Wait a second.
Wait,
Marwood's mind was taken by Akonida and her lackeys.
We
I-
found
Hold on.
it?
Let's clear this up. I pull out my whistle and I blow.
I was gonna blow the whistle.
I imagine you all
That's
reach
just like,
for
oh,
it. Yeah.
God,
We got this. Let's just call her and find out.
no, once is enough. Once is enough.
Yeah, right. Just your ears, Aurora Miss ears too, because it was actually meant to call her, but it's being, she put Ashley in charge. She has this Aurora Mist has this very stern look on her face. It takes a minute. Ashley's never on time, and never exactly there when you need her.
What happens? We kind of break down the body to mind diagram.
Uh-huh.
'cause I feel like we have sorted it out at this
All
point.
Yeah,
right,
at this
like-
point, you figured out the body to mind trifecta. That was a mess, right? Because Ekonida's body just is going to be without a mind because you burned up Violet's body, which held Ekonida's mind or soul.
Yeah.
You have Morrowind's body, and if you can get Morrowind's mind from Ashley, you can put it back.
Mhm.
We also have Ekonida's body.
You do have Ekonida's body.
Yeah.
Which, like, doesn't mean
Ekanata.
Ekonada no more!
doesn't mean
I love it. Yeah, it's...
That was like the best accidental nickname.
so
Good
Oh,
job,
gosh.
Kika.
So...
I mean, her body doesn't get us anything anymore because, like, her mind
No.
is trapped in a vase now.
Well, I
so-
mean, if we wanted to get weird with magic experimentation, but
No. We don't. Percy just kiboshes that on
It's been a weird day as it is. Jess has had enough of
Winston-
weird.
Winston,
Raven's
don't
all
tweet
down
that.
to get weird.
Yeah. Oh.
I feel like we keep
Yeah,
saying
so
things
blow,
and then Percy's
blow the
like,
whistle. Ashley shows up.
Yeah, so there's like a hard pause as there's a need to like I said, she's never on time. And you think that she's not gonna come. Even Aurora gets that look in her eye like, is it? And then all of a sudden you hear that and the bushes like burst open. She's covered in dirt and blood and war. She wears nothing like what she used to wear. She wears a pair of like khaki military pants with combat boots, and she wears a matching kind of khaki military shirt, and her hair are in these lopsided pigtails, and she's like, what? Holding her one, I'm here, what do you need?
Ashley.
Hey, so
Good news. We
I-
finished the war.
yeah,
Yeah.
we've got news for you, but I also have a wish for you.
A wish.
I wish that you would give me Morwen's mind and tell me how you have it.
I didn't. And you see, as she tries to fight, giving you what you want, her body begins to swell.
This is like Raven. 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 What's happening?
Not Raven. She does.
No,
No,
I
no,
know.
no,
Oh,
I don't,
okay,
no,
yeah,
no,
yeah.
no. I'm
Question.
just like,
Ashley's
it's like
I can't do it. No, I can't do it.
Why you have to?
Why?
She's starting to look like Violet from Willy Wonka. She begins to swell ever bigger. She's getting bigger. She's like, because if I give it to you, they'll kill me.
Yeah, who'll kill you?
Aurora Mist goes, Ashley, you know if you don't answer their wish, you're going to explode.
Please don't explode.
At least if
Ashley-
you don't explode, we can try to protect you.
Yeah.
We just got rid
Um,
of Aconita.
Raven,
Her very
just show her.
very large head turns
The
and looks
rock.
at you, and she says, "You got rid of Aconite." And immediately she
Yeah.
like swishes her wand. This glittery spiral lets out from it, and her body immediately like shoots back into normal size. The buttons now are a little like popped and exploded. The seams have ripped some from the size where it started, and in her hand she now holds this glass. It looks like a glass rose, is what it looks like. It's purple, very fragile, and she looks at all of you, and she says, I promised the Highbenders that I would take care of it, and I wouldn't give it to anybody, and they swore as long as I didn't, they wouldn't hurt anybody, especially all of you.
So, first off, the Highbenders totally lied because they've definitely been trying to hurt us.
I know!
They've been hurting plenty of people. Hand it over.
And she like puts it in your hand and she says, I'm sorry, I'm the worst fairy godmother ever.
You're not. No, it's okay.
Aurora Mist goes, no, actually you are.
Aurora Mist, that's not
So
how Florida
I
House
take
You're trying,
Morwen's
honey.
body out, the beautiful rock, and I put it down on the ground, and I break my spell on it.
Her body remanifests exactly like it was, arms laid across her chest. She still wears the beautiful dress that she wore to the Yule Cotillion last year.
And
She's
then
been
I
like this
set
for a
the
while.
rose on her hand.
You slip it in between her hands, and there's a moment as you watch the kind of purple coloring. You realize it's not the glass itself, it's something contained within the glass. And the glass rose blooms open, and as it does, it releases this kind of purple pollen-y type stuff. It is inhaled through her nose, and there's a very long pause. You wait, and you wait. Her eyes, they don't open, but she does breathe. And she still holds the rose in her hand, now no longer glass. It is real. Percy, you know it's real. And Aurora Mist says, well done, ladies. I don't know when she'll awake. Her mind has been out of her body for a long time. She does Aurora does a once-over of her, like checks a pulse, looks at her face, turns her head, opens her mouth to check her teeth, and she says, She's very healthy. Look, the color comes back into her cheeks. And sure enough, it's beginning to get kind of rosy. Even though she's very pale, as she always was.
Grabs Morwen's hand and is just like holding it and just starts like muttering to her, like, Morwen, like, you have to wake up. Like, we found you and you're here and like it's safe and you have to wake up. Like Percy's just like talking really softly to her.
On the other side, Raven's like, I'm really sorry I cast a spell on you, and I missed you so much.
I imagine
Tears.
there's a lot of tears. Aurora Mist probably tries to comfort you. She does seem... It's difficult, right? Because she was sleeping before, but she does seem, I guess you could say, more herself. Her body seems more lifelike. There's an actual mind there now, right? And you watch, and you see her finger just twitch a little bit at the sound of all of you crying. A single tear runs down her face as she remains unconscious. And Aurora Mist says, look at that. She can hear you. One of the teachers kind of leans their head out and looks at the situation, and of course it's the soccer coach. And he says, I don't mean to interrupt, but I have good news. Aurora's eyebrows like raised, like, please, we could use some. And he says, it seems we have received word from the front line. Combat has ceased. There is some new event, they're calling it. It seems that the Maul now orbits a sun.
I did that.
Aurora's Mist eyebrows raise and look over at you. He says, strangely enough, they say it is contained.
Scion did that.
Lilith did that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she says, wow. He says, the report is that during its manifestation, it wiped out the majority of Echinida's forces.
It also kind of took her.
Raven jumps up and gives Elizabeth a giant, like, dancing hug.
And
Elizabeth collapses.
I imagine there's a lot of hugging. A doggy pile
Yeah.
of
Of
hugs.
Yeah.
And you puddle on top of your friend Raven. I'm sorry, your friend Morrowind. As Raven's giggle kind of filters out into the night, and the camera pans out over the forest where you all stand. It is Aurora Mist's voice that we hear last. Ashley is nowhere to be found. She disappeared in, I guess, the reemergence of Morrowind, and Aurora Mist simply says, every time a star is born, so is a new universe. New life, new history, and new story. Congratulations, ladies. I think I chose exactly the right Hex Scouts. And we end with Morrowind's eyes fluttering open. The camera goes dark, and there is 3 letters, F-I-N, that appear on the screen as we close out this season of Witch Girl Adventures.
We did it!
We did it!
We did the thing!
We did not die. We saved Morwen.
You kind of almost
God.
died.
Oh my gosh!
kind
Why
of-
would you wait so long to go through the portal?
Gotta make sure everyone goes through the portal.
Percy had to keep the spell.
I had to fight. I had to
Well,
fight Loretta's
gang.
boyfriend to get back in.
You did have to fight the boyfriend. Well, congratulations, ladies. What we're gonna do here, chat, is a couple things. First off, we have a giveaway. So let's just say that's coming. We've been doing a large giveaway on Twitter right now for a bunch of amazing stuff. If you're in chat and you want to enter that giveaway, now is literally your last chance.
Do it, do it, do it.
You can go to that link right there. You need to follow, retweet, and like the post, and I will do a random poll here in just a second of everybody that is qualified. Yeah, and I would would like to take a moment. Usually we do an after show just for Patreon, but this is our final episode for quite a while, at least going into 2020. And so I want to take a moment with these ladies, as they are all here in one game. I'm sure you'll see them more as the new year comes around. But I want to, I want to go around and let them introduce themselves, tell you where they can find you, those kind of things. But I want to do a live after show. Take a moment to unwind, to unpack and talk about everything that we've gone through, where we think it may be headed, because this is not the end, but just the beginning, really, of possibly a brand new world for the supernatural. So let's actually start with Eris. Eris, kick us off. Tell us who you are, where we can find you, and then just like a quick little, how are you feeling?
Oh my gosh, there's so much to unpack here. Hi, I'm Eris Savad. Let's start off with the fact that I'm a full-time Stitch Witch. I make dice trays and other gaming accessories, travel stuff, good for more than just dice. You can find the stuff that I make at erissavad.com. Because you're watching Little Red Dot's channel, you can put in the code .army at checkout to save 10% off your entire order, which is super cool. Right now I've got custom order stuff coming up, as well as all sorts of stuff in shop right now. Makes great gifts. You can find me making my stuff on twitch.tv/erissavad. I stream a lot of weekdays. I'm doing prep work today, or this week, but I stream most weekdays, and you can watch me make cool stuff.
Very cool. Yeah, how you feeling?
Raven. Oh gosh. Raven is just relieved, I think. Relieved. We're gonna go with relieved, because everybody that she cared about, as far as she knows, has made it through. I mean, at least for the most part. I'm sure that she's going to find out that there were some casualties that she knew, but
as after any war.
Yep.
The world always changes after war.
Yep, but her best friends made it through. Her hopefully boyfriend, maybe they'll still stay together after she's obviously a witch. Hopefully Tyler is strong enough for that. I don't know if he can handle a witch girl.
Well, it definitely was a first date, that's for sure. It was a real first date, yo.
That was a rockin' first date.
Yeah. He, I don't know that if you can top that. I mean, you rescued him from a mass kidnapping. You showed him both, the poor Vespa. The poor Vespa.
Raven's dad is gonna be so mad that she lost that thing. She's gonna have to tell him that she totaled it or something.
She can't tell him she turned it into a wolf and then lost it into an inferno portal to the sun.
I mean, that's what I tell him.
He has a thing against witches, so he doesn't actually know that his wife and daughter are witches.
Oh.
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 So,
Oh no.
Don't tell him that you turned the
That's
Vespa
something
into
that-
a wolf or that you lost it.
Yeah,
I'm so-
well, that's something that we didn't really get into very much through the campaign at this point, but we did kind of touch on it a little bit during Raven's phone call home. But yeah, so he doesn't even know that she's a witch. So the fact that she, spent the summer making sure her Vespa could fly and stuff like that,
Right.
Those were aftermarket alterations.
Aftermarket alterations.
Yeah, so it's the whole wolf thing. We're just gonna call that aftermarket. But she's just gonna tell her dad that she, she crashed the Vespa, but she's okay. She's okay, and that's the important part.
It is.
She might be grounded.
Probably.
definitely gonna be grounded.
I mean, unless, really the question is, what happens after all of this? Is it outed that witches are here? Does the mundane world have to start going back to the way it once was and merging with all of the supernatural? There's so many questions.
There are lots of questions.
We'll have to think.
Can Raven just turn an acorn or a pencil into a new Vespa? Probably.
Yes.
Yeah, you could just
Especially
lie
with
about it.
Elizabeth's help.
Yeah.
That's true.
But you don't have to know.
It's fine.
We'll just make you a new Vespa.
Hmm.
We can do this.
I mean, you saved the witch roll. They owe you a Vespa, at the very, very least.
This is true. Maybe I can get it turbo boosted. Or even go really fast.
Will Elizabeth finally get her motorcycle?
We'll work on that. We will work on that.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Well,
I think that's it.
moving right along. Catherine.
Hi, I'm Catherine Barsonistas. I run the nerdy food blog, The Gluttonous Geek, and you can find me on Twitter at gluttonous_geek and The Gluttonous Geek pretty much everywhere else on social media. I also run a weekly cooking show, which I canceled last week. I was so sorry. Allergies were smacking me in the face. So,
Aw.
Return of Munchies and Minis will be tomorrow night with that goat cheese pizza inspired by Billy from the Adventure Zone Amnesty.
Nice.
Not this Billy that we had in game. And let's see, as far as Loretta is feeling, well, the main fight's done. Morwen's been returned. And she now knows about her family. She just needs to go.
She
find
does.
them.
And actually, there was one thing I was gonna have you roll for, and it's just like with time, and I really wanted to get to chatting, but
Yeah.
it doesn't. Let me just see, because if not, then I'm gonna take a big old stab. Oh yeah, okay. Never mind. Yeah, you guys would know that obviously the jars were all of her children, so it would have been like Gilgamesh as the first immortal, the two other first witches, and Lilith. If they didn't name Gilgamesh, I was gonna make it your father, but it's not your father, so.
But yeah, also I imagine that she's going to kind of take to heart what Billy said about the whole you can only be one or the other, and she's going, you know, don't tell me what I can't do. So she may be trying to convince Elizabeth for a little bit of immortal training on the side.
Interesting. That'll be a fun one.
The entire rule is don't tell a toadstool what to do because we refuse.
Yeah, totally.
I reject reality and substitute it with my own.
Yes.
That's
Through
our entire
conjuration.
mantra.
Um,
Yeah.
Alteration, you know.
No big deal.
Cybermancy.
I mean, my mother made Maple-Leaf, so hey, if she can make a 50 sitcom world, I can be part immortal, dang it. I can wear pretty dresses and ride into battle.
It's true.
Hell yeah.
Yes, you can. On a unicorn. Yes, you can.
Yes.
Fantastic. Moving right along would make it Kika.
Hi, Kika. I do internet stuff, mostly play D&D on people's shows. I'm not really on anything for a bit, but my birthday's next week. Yay!
Oh, happy early birthday!
You can find me on Twitter at twitter.com/KikaVO, and you can catch me at PAX Unplugged, running a panel on queer and non-Eurocentric world building. So check me out there, and keep your eye out for any other projects that I release. Hopefully soon. Things are in progress.
Well, that sounds exciting and promising.
Hopefully.
Hopefully. Cool. Making it Tiff's turn.
Hello. Oh, did you want to check in about Elizabeth?
Oh, that's true. Elizabeth, how you doing? How's Elizabeth feeling after all of this?
Tired. She probably sleeps for like 8 hours even with the ring. Like the Rise and Shine ring.
I bet you have she burned some serious zap points over the last 24 hours.
Yeah. I
Even-
could have
yeah.
cast a couple more spells, honestly, but
Yeah, you definitely don't want to get too low on those zap points.
I'm sorry, I'm really good at like breaking systems.
Hey, it's cool. I thought it was such an interesting. Because okay, we'll talk about this after you guys get done with your introduction about what my original like plan was, because Lilith was going to show up either way.
Cool.
It just so happened that what not making it to the 30 means that she didn't open up a portal to the sun. She opened up a portal to Lilith.
Oh, cool.
So the light you were seeing was not
Whoa.
sunlight, it was Lilith's light. So it was like, is Lilith a sun? Is she represented as a star? Like that kind of like crossover of mythos, I guess.
I
So
love
I guess
that.
that's technically better.
But yeah.
Yeah.
You basically open her. She was coming anyways, right? Any mother knows when their child is up to no fucking good. And
My
that
mom sure didn't.
right? Look at this mama on screen. It's like, yeah, I know when I don't even have to hear her. I just know when they're doing no good. And I think that was the situation. It was just going to take her a lot longer to get here. And it would have meant that she would have fought at the side of all of the witches if it had turned into more of like a proper battle or those kinds of things. But all of you played it real smart. I mean, you evacuated the students. You didn't let them run out onto the battlefield. You didn't even try to fight the creatures that I tossed at you. That would have been real fun because they were also very powerful. So it was definitely smart of Elizabeth to, and I didn't see it coming. So I was like, oh, she's gonna try to cast something, and then she's gonna find out real hard that, you know, you can't cast magic on one of the very first witches. And then you were smart. You're like, I'm not casting magic on her. I'm doing this other thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought of it like in the moment at the end of that session. I even messaged Jess.
So good.
Shauna, what I was doing.
It's like, yeah, do it.
Yep.
Do it.
Yep.
Yeah. Well,
So good.
I guess if Elizabeth is going to train Loretta in being half immortal, Loretta will have to recognize Elizabeth's royal status.
It's true. She probably can't train you as a proper immortal because you'd have to go through immortal school for that. But she can at least train you in fighting. The ways of the immortal is really what it is. Because much of what I've read about immortals is that, you know, it's very gladiatorial, their training. They learn to fight things. They have a major code of honor and ethics, which is probably where Elizabeth gets it, having that background there. So she would be able to train you in all of that.
Background.
Considering that she curtsied to Princess Lucinda Nightbane the first season, I think she's gonna be fine.
Yeah, she'll make it.
I mean,
She'll make it. Who knows? Maybe Princess Lucinda Nightbane can come out of hiding. Now.
Nah.
No, just leave her in hiding. Oh man.
I'm
Well, as
sure
long as she's-
someone wants to kill her. She's offended a lot of people.
I mean,
She
as
has,
long
but you
as
guys
she's played by
kinda...
Opera Geek, she can come back.
She, yeah, right. She kind of
Alright.
changed a little bit. When you guys took her shopping, you learned a little bit about the fact that she's the way she is because she has no friends.
I feel
That's
like she's at least
true.
adjusted her attitude towards us because I mean,
You know,
it's
and when you
She
become...
almost sacrificed. She was almost
She
sacrificed.
was supposed to be Echinida's sacrifice.
yeah, we did save her from being
Yeah.
sacrificed.
Mm-hmm.
She was gonna be the first vessel. You guys botched
Oh, that
that.
would have been a
up.
hell of a thing.
You guys botched that one. Okay, Tiff.
Hello, I am Tiffany. I do D&D things with North by North Quest, which Dot is a part of.
Yeah,
We're
yeah.
released every Wednesday. This week, you get the second half of a one-shot that I GM'd for our Volume 4. So check that out if you haven't. I also do costuming and sewing nerdy things on all the social medias as RTS Cosplay, so check that out there. And yeah, that's who I am.
How is Percy?
Percy is losing her mind. Between sacrificing her cell phone, thankfully not dying, meeting the first witch ever, which like no one else seems as like crazed by as she does, and then getting Morwen back. She doesn't know what to feel anymore. She's just like, what has happened? So
Oh, Percy. Hey, you made a new friend though. You have a new online friend.
that's true. Winston, who was a help and we saved. I feel like they're definitely, he got the kids' attention and got them through. And
He finally stood up for himself. Congratulations,
Yeah.
Winston. It took the end of the world to make that happen.
I
I
mean,
mean,
better
better
than
late
it
than
not
never.
happening.
We all gotta start somewhere.
yeah, I know. I think him and Percy are gonna be online buddies.
Yeah.
Certainly after this. Who knows though if we are mind wiping or not, or what happens there.
We'll have to see.
If
There's a lot of cleanup to be done in the
Brock.
witch world right now.
Perhaps
Yeah.
it's
Brock's
time to come out of
Brock's probably
hiding.
headed to juvie. Well, maybe not now that all the students are going to show back up.
that's true.
That's
All the
true, yeah,
students are
that's-
going to come back, and none of them are harmed, not technically. So
No.
Brock may get off the
And
hook.
they all have a great story
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like
They do have a
With
matching
videos and-
alibi.
with
Mhm.
videos and picture evidence from Winston.
That's true. Winston
Yeah.
has been.
So
live
you're right. Brock may get off the hook.
All of that. Yeah.
Fine.
So
He
And
might not have been a rock, but he's
he still
a
has to come
rock.
save Loretta.
Oh.
Oh, right.
Really wants to fight something. Brock, don't come anywhere near here.
Awesome. And Shauna, you're up. And then we'll kind of have an open chat.
Yeah. I'm Shauna, Flying Cirrus on Twitter, where I post I do a bunch of games all over the place online, and I do art like the stuff I done for the stream and the little stickers for the giveaway thing. So.
Yeah, speaking of giveaway, we'll do that right after you tell us how Jess is feeling.
Jess is feeling a lot. I think Jess is feeling definite, like, delayed, like, what the hell just happened. This whole season has been a lot of, like, in the magical deep end for Jess, so she's finally at a point where she's kind of, like, starting to absorb it.
Yeah.
And I think she is very much in favor of, like, you know what? Let the mundane world and the magical world come back again. Because she's kind of tired of having to, like, tiptoe around everything. Also the werewolf stuff.
Jess and Percy later are going to have a big conspiracy board conversation to, like, string everything that happened together.
Yeah. I think also Jess really wants to put together a witch derby team with the rest of the girls, so she wants to train.
The new greatest sport, which I love it.
Yes.
Witch derby.
We are all for this.
Who needs broom riding when you have witch derby? I love it so much. Yeah, so thank you everybody for tuning in. I, of course, am Little Red Dot. I appreciate so much all of you that have shown up throughout this season, who have come in to watch this shenanigans. I am a bit behind on loading up to YouTube, but I'm hoping this week to have everything up now that I'm closing out these last two tonight. Obviously, we close out this game, and we'll be closing out the Purloin Code tomorrow night at 8 p.m. That should also be a very emotional and high stakes, we'll say, closure. We had an interesting little endeavor where one of our players couldn't make it for a personal reason, so we actually did an hour-long side episode with just that player, so that will play before, so you can tune in at 6:30 Eastern Standard Time and catch that mini quest that literally feeds right into our finale. So, yeah, here 6:30 tomorrow night. We'll have a rebroadcast and then straight in at 8 o'clock. Actually, after this, I'm going to go ahead and say this so I do not forget, we're going to be heading over to Arvan Elrond's channel where I'm going to be doing a voiceover video game thing. So we're actually going to raid, so all of you, when we're done chatting and answering questions, hang out and bear with me, and we're going to go raid Arvan Elrond. And then you guys can hang out with me some more tonight as I do another 3-hour voiceover gig. But I want to give us our winner for the giveaway. Time to draw. So our giveaway has been running for a little bit. Thank you all who entered, who followed, who retweeted. You, in fact, are going to get a slew of things, including some witchy dye, a hard copy of the Witch Girl Adventures, beautiful character stickers that Shauna made, a dice bag of bats, right? The fabric's got bats?
Yes.
Bats! A cute little dice bag made of a bat fabric, and then a fantastic handmade dice tray by Eris, as well as something new this season, a mini of Mr. Whiskers that has been printed by the Gluttonous Geek. She's gonna show it off. She's gonna paint it, but it's coming. You're gonna get all kinds. Look at that! We started painting it. I love it. So you're gonna get all of these things, and I have drawn our winner. Our winner is, drum roll please, Graceful X Dead. Graceful X Dead. Yay, Graceful!
I know her.
Oh, really?
That's Allie.
Oh, that's exciting. That's the one. They were kind enough to both follow, retweet, all of the above. So Graceful X Dead will get our lovely little pack. Please stay tuned. I'll be doing some more giveaways as we go, kind of lead into 2020, since I'm not running as much programming here on the channel. I'll be giving stuff away instead. So don't think we'll gonna be going, I guess, like dead here on the channel. I'm actually thinking we'll be doing some more GM planning sessions because we've got a lot of new games coming to the channel in 2020. So I'll be doing some GM planning, and let's be real, sometimes a girl just needs to play some video games, you know what I'm saying? So we'll probably have a few video game streams for the holidays. But and Sunday Fun Days will continue, as well as Owl of Lycia and my time over on Roll4. So thank you all so much. Now that the giveaway is done, let's keep our chat going. If you are in chat and you have a question, now is the perfect time. We have about 10 minutes for you to ask questions and us to answer questions if something pops up or there's something that you really wanted answered that you felt like we just didn't even cover.
This was a great finale. I was like terrified of what was going to happen because like,
oh my gosh, me too.
Percy is not a fighty person, and I was like, I don't know what's going to happen.
I was getting worried because there's a lot of like, I'll stay behind. It's like no one is staying behind in this. No
Your
one.
cybermancy saved us.
I was
For the
so
record,
ready to lead the
you were
charge.
worried.
Mhm. Yeah, I was-
I've been waiting to see when that was gonna happen. Like when
I-
Percy was gonna use that one particular spell.
Oh,
Oh.
as soon as we learned, like, as soon as I realized I could do it and we went into cyberspace the first time, I was like,
Mhm.
this is gonna come in. Like, there's gonna be a moment. And then when I realized, I was like, well, I mean, I was carrying plenty of tech, but
Mhm.
cell phone was the way to go.
Yeah.
I was like, we're getting
Yeah.
out.
Oh, that was so good.
Quick and dirty,
Because-
quick and dirty. Actually, it was
know?
Billy's plan to let you go through and then smash the cell phone so that they could follow through.
Wait, no.
Mm.
But
You know,
clearly,
Billy.
nobody wanted to leave Billy behind. So
no person
No-
left
no-
behind from
no
a group.
Billy gets
Well,
left behind.
technically, no kid left behind
No
because we
kid
did kind of
left
leave someone behind.
Well, okay.
Oh.
But
Well,
Zion was an adult
So
who
bad.
makes their decision. We
Yeah.
saved our.
It's fine.
Saved
No Billy left behind.
no Billy,
Billy
left
left.
behind.
Mhm.
Elizabeth would have found a way to save Scion.
That is true.
It was actually Sion's sacrifice, which is what made Lilith choose her as a vessel for this to walk on this planet. I had been simmering on, so I had the big secret about the third sister that they did not talk about. Because when you walked into, so this is something actually Kika brought to my attention. When you all walked through the first time and saw that statue, you didn't stop and talk to it. You went and did all the stuff with the Gorgon and saved them and da-da-da, and then came back through and you questioned it on the way back, which means you were in your dream, in your mind.
Yeah.
When you questioned it, which means so much of that information was made up in your shared subconscious and fed to you of what they wanted you to know. But the truth of the matter is, it is their third sister.
That's...
So it looks like we have a question.
Oh.
Where have the pets been during all of this? The cat and the raven.
Well, the Raven
Oh.
followed.
I'm right here.
Vex is a crow. Thank you.
Vex is a
North
crow.
American crow,
Oh,
specifically.
I want to know what that looks like. Why? How
It's just your standard North American crow.
God, there was that wonderful like
Mr. Whiskers
little-
is in the bag.
Yeah, he's in the
Loretta's
cat's
bag.
in the bag. He's in the bag of holding.
Yeah. There was that wonderful like I think it was Eris who found that video of like the tabby cat and like the crow talking to each other. I'm
Yes.
like I keep thinking about that.
yeah.
Ah, I love
Yeah.
that. I need to
Yeah.
find that
So
video.
basically,
again and
they're
send it
always
to everybody.
around because they're familiars. Mr. Whiskers is a little
They-
bit more loungier, I think.
He's
I
not
think
a
they,
pet. He's just your cat, right?
Yeah. I think that they need their own spin-off series now.
Yeah.
Vex and Whiskers
That's
have,
Mr. Whiskers.
have Mr.
Yeah.
Whiskers
Good.
played by Adam Jones.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think you know what? I think
Yes.
that the
Yes.
series is called Feathers and Whiskers.
Yeah,
It's called Feathers and Whiskers.
yeah. There's a lot of waffles because
I
Mr.
feel like it's
Whiskers
like a
is
morning
gentleman
talk
introduced
show.
him.
It's
Feathers.
like what
It's a
they
tiny
did while
morning
we were
talk
asleep
show.
for 6 months.
They
love that
actually
so
turned
much.
your dormitory into a studio, and they hosted a morning talk show where they kept the world informed on what was going on.
Every once in a
Make
while,
this
the
for
Wraith came
Patreon.
and guested.
Yeah. No one knows that Mr. Whiskers and Vex were a crow and a
No idea.
a crow and a cat. It's like no one.
Of course, now I've got a theme song in my head. Vex and Whiskers.
I love it.
Whiskers and Vex.
oh no, it's all right. I've had one since it was even proposed. It's like
Mhm.
Vex and Whiskers, they are best friends, solving mysteries. Vex and Whiskers.
Yeah, I love it.
So
Yeah.
So I know you were talking about maybe one day in the future doing more Witch Girls, but I propose Vex and Whiskers, the detective show.
The detective show. I love it. Yeah. I think it should be. Oh, it should be Feathers and Fur.
Yes.
Feathers and Fur. Morning
The
time with
detective,
Feathers and Fur. Yeah.
detective series.
A detective series. This is Captain Feathers. This is Captain Fur.
They solve small animal crimes.
Oh wow. Okay, chat. Moving us along so we can stop talking about tiny creatures. If you got other questions, let us know. Yeah,
my
there was
God.
a lot interesting. So I had also known for a while that Ashley had Raven. I'm
Mm.
sorry, had Morrowind.
You keep
I
doing
keep
that.
doing
it's
that.
fine.
I don't know why I do it every time. Had Morrowind's mind, and it had it for a while, in fact.
I mean, it was safe because Ashley had it.
Yeah.
It was part of the reason I think Ashley took it was to keep it safe when it was offered to her, but she was also put under quite a bit of duress. And the
Correct.
high, when you think about it, they knew that the safest place to keep it was close to heart, close to all of you. You would never have suspected that Ashley had it.
No,
No,
no.
not at all.
Granted, she would have given it up in a heartbeat, but
Wait, the Highbenders made her keep it? How did she get in contact with the Highbenders?
well, that's a whole other story.
They probably got her.
Probably found her.
Yeah, they found her. There's in my head it plays out pretty simply, which is once they removed Morrowind's mind, which happened very early on, like
Mm-hmm.
very quickly, because they wanted to keep her body prepared at any point if they collected what they needed. Well, how about this? I'll give you guys the history of what played out over the 6 months while you were gone. That's really the
Yes.
that's
Yeah, 6
really
months.
that will fill in a lot of stuff. So after your disappearance, it was kind of a slow burn for the first week, as basically Echinida in Violent's body rallied all of the vampires along with the Highbenders, and they began plotting. And the first thing that they had to do was make a vampire army. So they just started turning people. And so the first few weeks, you started to see a mass drop in the local area, or actually all over the place. And these stories of vampires, you know how things are. So and so sucked my blood in a club, blah 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 blah. Once they had an army, they attacked, and it was the Highbenders that let in Echinida and the vampires into the mall.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then once they let them in, it was kind of literally all hell broke loose, and it turned into a proper war. A lot of the supernatural creatures simply left, right? The werewolves don't want to be involved. A lot of other creatures simply kept a distance. Many of them feel like this war is the witches to fight,
Yeah.
right? Echinida
Yeah,
is not
definitely.
necessarily their enemy. She never really was. And it was technically the witches that brought this secret world into being. They were the ones that made a unilateral decision to wipe the minds of everybody. And
Everybody, yeah.
when I first read this book, when I first read the Witch Girls book, that was the one thing when I read the history that really stuck out to me. It was like that thing that I read and I was like, this is interesting. This is not only conflict in terms of just story, but like to live in a world where we once lived at peace with the supernatural, the mundane world did, and to have that veil, a non-consensual veil pulled over your eyes, memories wiped, as you know, Kika pointed out earlier as Elizabeth, and I think that is something. So
Yeah.
I was just really drawn to that, and so I wanted to build a story around the conflict that happens when you create a system that's built on lies. Right? Which is what Loretta's mother was dealing with, that she was trying to like answer for, was she was beginning to realize that so much of the witches' world was built on a lie, and then they were going to build it on even more of a lie, especially after coming out of the Second World War, nonetheless, where like people needed hope more than ever before, not more lies and veils and you know hiding
Yeah.
and secrecy. So there were a lot, including the werewolves and other supernatural creatures that simply just did not believe that it was the right choice. So when they're put in a situation like this and it's like, okay, rally the troops. Well, it's like, well, half the troops don't believe in either side. They just want to be left out of it. So there's this massive divide, basically, over the 6 months. It became very important very quickly to protect all the witches, especially once they figured out what the real plan was, which is they were going to sacrifice a large amount of innocent mortals, in this ritual, and they're gonna replace the mind into a new body, basically. Yeah.
I have a
Meanwhile,
feeling.
we were all ready to do a season of Witch Derby.
Witch
Yeah.
Derby, another show. I'd
We had
watch.
actually like talked about that
Really?
Oh,
Yeah.
before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
We were
remember that.
discussing it and like talking up our fun school activities that we were gonna do.
And we were in a fake
It's in a dream.
dimension
It's
for
fine.
6 months.
Don't worry.
Well, you were kind of caught in. It's almost like a mind prison. Really.
Yeah, mind prison.
It was a mind prison, but
Yeah, mind prison.
yeah,
A
and then
mind
you know
palace.
a mind palace, and then once the 5 of you showed up and screwed up the plan, that was the other thing. You screwed up. You showed up unexpectedly and screwed with their plan. Their plan was not to put you into a mind prison. You just happened to show up in the middle of important stuff.
Mm-hmm.
What we do,
That's what
Yep.
you do. So
we show up in important stuff,
yeah,
and then we ruin it all, and we ask questions you don't want to answer.
No one tells us the
Everything's
answers, and we just
secret.
go. Yeah.
So we just do whatever the hell we want.
Oh god.
yep. I thought about having Renee actually join us for this game, but I wasn't really sure how it was going to end. So it was very hard for me to be like, let me plan for you to be here. When I wasn't, I genuinely was not sure. So I think now that Morrowind is back, we can possibly have Renee back when we do our epilogue. There'll be so much stuff I need to tell her, though. Holy moly.
Oh, a lot of stuff happens.
I could probably just run a campaign with just Renee of everything she went through being trapped
Oh my god.
in a glass
Oh.
rose, her mind in a glass
Oh.
rose, but
That would be
Oh,
so
no.
trippy.
yeah, it would be very
Yeah.
weird. Cool.
I think Percy is definitely in the rebuilding of the witch world, voting for the no more hiding in secrets.
Yeah, Jess, I
Raven
think
is
is
also there.
Yeah, Jess is definitely there because she has like she is not just like mundane and witch, but she also has the werewolf world,
Yep.
and it's a lot to be spread over
Yeah.
that much and not have to keep those
I
separate.
was about to say your whole
Which-
life is probably contention between the
Which
two.
is why she's probably had as much trouble with the magic stuff.
Yeah, but you know, a group of werewolves watched you guys
Mhm.
be very brave and go into this tree and overcome the like, you know, curse that was on it and all this kind of stuff. We got a question in chat. I'm very excited about this one. Did you know that Dot and I, cough cough, Dot and Kika, had discussed Elizabeth dying and getting turned into a vampire? It's true.
No, but please, I'm so glad you did it.
Why?
That was
Why
an
would
option
you-
I was.
Why?
That was
would
an
you
option I
do
was.
this?
When you bring vampires in, I was like, okay,
One of you.
maybe my healing magic.
We
healing magic.
we
can
did
do it.
talk about it. Actually, part of the discussion came early on, or a few weeks ago, and then after the last game where he was like, "I'm going to take action," I was like, "Okay, we should really discuss the probability because here's the thing: if Violet had." Aconite is the mother of these dark creatures. She can turn anything into a vampire. And it doesn't have to be done by the vampire kiss, right? She could just turn you into a vampire if she wanted to.
Cool.
By ripping light from your body and replacing it with darkness. That's how she did it the first time around.
Heck yeah.
So she, there was a moment where I was like, if she gets her hands on you, we need to be really honest about the fact that she could possibly, and this episode could have, had Kika not been so, literally bright and smart about the situation, where we could have ended up with Elizabeth having vampiric powers and turning into
Hell
a
yeah.
I
vampire.
made a character sheet for that.
I'm glad you did, because we did talk about it. It was like a whole thing, and it actually forced me to have to start answering questions. Like she was like, "Well, what does that mean for me as a witch?" And I was like, "Well, I don't
How does
know.
that affect my magic?
How does it affect magic?" So it took
As
me a
much
little
as
bit.
a
I had to go
werewolf.
do like some research. So more than likely because she's also immortal, and she's immortal, a witch, and then now a vampire. She would have immediately been at the level of an ancient vampire. Because of that alone. Now, that being said, vampires aren't necessarily as innately magic as witches are, which means a lot of her magic would have gone away, except for her necromancy and another one which vampires are allowed to cast. And then the rest of her magic would have basically subsided down to, I think, level 2. It can't go over level 2 or 3, something like
I
that.
think you said 4.
4, is that what it was? I can't remember what I said. But there's like a point where your magic can't go any higher. Like you actually can't do anything over a level 4 spell. So she would have been able to keep a lot of who she once was, but then it would have also given her all the vampiric stuff, which is, gosh, immunity to necromancy and necromantic spells, immortality.
Turned into a vampire.
Yeah,
I don't think we could have handled Elizabeth turning into a vampire.
So here's
and
the
having to
thing.
run away or fight.
Because
you.
this is the other thing I had to like do some research on, which is like, all vampires are technically evil. They are the literal lineage spawn of Aconida, but a lot of vampires just do their own thing. It is the army that she raised that fought at her side, right? So it would have actually been a choice for Elizabeth to like have to choose what she wanted to do. It would have corrupted her a little bit. Some decision, the ethnic, like the ethical side of her and the ethics that she believes in would
Oh, no.
not have probably been there anymore. But she could have chosen to still be good, right? In the same way that Angel fights to
No,
be good
yeah.
Need some bad
constantly.
guys.
Yeah, you know, like it would have been a really interesting like turn of story, that's for sure. I also considered making Elizabeth the next vessel.
Oh yeah.
That was also a thought I had was like, Aconida could have just simply ripped Elizabeth's mind from her body. Elizabeth qualifies as a very, very powerful witch. And has immortal blood, which is something that even Marwyn didn't have.
Yeah.
Cool.
So
Yeah,
that was
that was
also
a
a
tough
huge
possibility.
threat. If she had got her hands on Elizabeth, it could have gone a lot of different ways.
I'm glad Elizabeth made a sun portal.
Yeah, the sun
Me
portal.
too.
I love the sun portal a lot.
Yeah.
Because all of that sounded terrifying.
Yeah.
I don't think Percy could have handled it.
Well, ladies, any last thoughts? I gotta go hop onto this other stream. Any last thoughts before we close this out? I'm gonna leave the Discord channel open for all of you in chat. If you want to continue discussing, Discord will be open, probably until the end of the year, so we can keep chatting. And don't fret. This is not the literal very end. We've just got to figure out what the next phase of Witch Girls is for the Dot Lot. Which I'm hoping is a little bit of an epilogue campaign.
Yeah.
A little cap of what happens after all of this has gone down. So, again, I want to say thank you so very much from the bottom of my little dot heart for all the support, for the Patreon who has made this possible, for all of you who have given bits and tips and shared your love with us and your love of these characters. They've come a long way. They have come a long, long way from a bunch of girls simply looking to buy a dress for the Yule Cotillion. So I am so proud of this campaign and what's the word I'm looking for? Humbled to get to work with this group of talented ladies. So thank you very much.
We
And
love you too.
We love you guys. I love you guys so much. And remember, be nice.
Be nice.
Or
Be
a
a
toad.
toad.
there it is.
There we go. Yep.
Until next time,
Yay.
everybody. Bye.
Bye.
Oh, we're gonna raid. Don't go anywhere.